The transaction is for transfer of stock and addition of 2 new directors and officer. I would suggest to the board, due to the fact that we have also listed in this particular agenda item, the matter of, as you just were about to proceed with the executive session, I have to tell the board that there is only the one person here present, and I would advise the commission that I believe it's in the best interest for this matter, for the board, to have all members of the corporation propose for your approval to be present for this hearing.
Attorney Veloso?
I would defer to Assistant City Solicitor Elliot Veloso if he wishes to comment on the matter.
Elliot?
It is my understanding that the person for whom executive session would be sought pursuant to Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 6, Section 172 is not here. It is my understanding that notice was provided to this gentleman based on the application, and a continuance was granted to ensure that this gentleman appear. The fact that this gentleman is not here, both, in my opinion, suggests poorly both of the gentleman's seriousness to become a director for this establishment. I also note that that person should be here in order to initiate executive session, given that he is the focus for such a session under Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 6, Section 172. There are 2 options the commission could pursue, if I may suggest. The first could be, given that this gentleman isn't here, and the fact that notice was provided and a continuance was granted, and he still has not shown up, the board in its discretion can reject that application and require the applicant to resubmit. The second option could be that the License Commission could continue this matter further and, however, require that all people who would be applying either for the transfer of stock or for the position of director be required to appear at the next License Commission session. Should they choose not to appear, essentially to this last chance for the transfer of title, the License Commission at its discretion could reject it.
Thank you. Mr. Correa, do you have any idea why your fellow shareholder is not here at this meeting?
Well, in the past, there was no need to have all parties appear. When we initially received our license, all of the stockholders were not caused to appear, nor, this is the first I heard, that the other applicants, if you want to call them, were required to appear. When this was first filed, we were set for hearing, I believe it was 2 weeks ago, and I just received an email from Mr. Nguyen that the matter was continued for 2 weeks, that they were going to be posting another legal notice. There was no explanation, nor was there a request that the other parties there. I suspect that I understand the reason for the executive session is the fact that one of the applicants has an issue on their query, but that applicant was a director. He's continuing to be a director, and all of the initial certified documents were provided at the time that we received our license in 2013. So there's just a matter of him now officially becoming a stockholder, but he's always been listed as an officer and a director of the corporation. So I'm a little confused as to this. I'm kind of taken off guard, to be honest with you.
All right. Well, unless the board has any objection, I'd be willing to extend this to the next meeting. But it's kind of 2 strikes and 1 more, you're out. So I would
Certainly,
communicate to you.
I would have brought the parties forward if I had known that he needed to be here. Unfortunately, scheduling, we have 3 locations. The 2 of the active parties are right now managing those locations, and the third one is basically just a silent family member who's an investor in them. So I can certainly bring them
have any
forward.
other comments? Any objection to that?
Agree to the continuance.
All right, motion by Commissioner Donahue, seconded by Commissioner McCarthy, that we reschedule this hearing till October 6th?
October 6th.
October 6th meeting, okay?
Absolutely.
All in favor, signify by
problem.
saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Mr. Correa.
Before he
Commissioner
steps
Krieger?
down.
Yep.
So you have 3 locations.
Yes, sir.
They're where? Here and where else?
Lowell, Malden, and Somerville, Massachusetts.
Okie dokie. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I should give you, did I give you the schedule? Proceeding with the meeting agenda, number 7, Commission will now open a public hearing on the application by New Excel Package Store, Inc., Himanshu Patel, President, for the transfer of the all-alcoholic beverages package store license from Excel Package Store, Inc., John N. Tavalaris, President, for premises at 611, 613 Merrimack Street, one unnumbered door, first floor, one room, 2 rooms for storage, approximately 2,367 square feet, cellar for storage. A legal notice had been published in the Lowell Sun newspaper on Friday, September 2nd, 2016, and it is requested that Himanshu Patel be approved as the manager of record for New Excel Package Store, Inc.
Good evening.
State your name for the record, sir.
Andrew Zarulis, I represent the new XL Liquors, Hamshu Patel and Malay Patel. We're asking for approval of this transfer.
Commissioner McCarthy and I were just speaking. We were wondering how many years that Mr. Tavalaris has owned XL Liquors.
It's 36 years.
36.
36, yes, sir.
Congratulations. Good for you, sir. You did a fantastic job there.
Thank you very much.
Secretary Winter, are all the papers in order? All the documents in order from
Yes.
Council? Any other questions for the board? Board, any questions for the new owners? Move for approval by Commissioner McCarthy, seconded by Commissioner Krieger. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Tavalaris, thank you for your customers, your service here at the City of Lowell. You did a great job, and you're always well in line. I think maybe we saw you here once, if I remember.
Mr. Chairman,
Was it twice?
Mr. Chairman, I apologize. As it's a public hearing, you have to
Oh, I
open it up to
apologize. Thank
public
you.
comment.
Thank you very much. Let's go through the proceedings. At this time, we'll open up the public hearing. Anybody like to speak in opposition? In opposition? In opposition? Hearing no one, that portion of the public hearing is closed. At this time, we'll open up the public hearing. Anyone that'd like to speak in favor? In favor? In favor? That portion of the public hearing is closed. The wish of the body is a motion by Commissioner McCarthy, seconded by Commissioner Krieger. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. Gentlemen, good luck. Do as good a job as Mr. Tavalaris has done, all right?
Thank you very much.
All right.
Brian, thank you.
Proceeding with the next item on the meeting agenda is the application by the Liquor Shack, Inc., Tamen Singh Chem, President, for the transfer of the all-alcoholic beverages package store license from a corporation known as Joe and I, Inc., doing business as R&M Liquors, Michael J. Rodriguez, President, for premises at 815 Lakeview Avenue, one unnumbered door, first floor, one room, 2 rooms for storage, 1,200 square feet, a basement, 2 rooms for storage. Respectfully request the commission to consider voting to schedule a public hearing on this transfer application to be scheduled for October the 6th, which would entail a legal notice to be published in the Lowell Sun newspaper on or about September the 23rd.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Proceeding with number 9 on the meeting agenda, we have the application by a corporation known as Louis Lowell LLC, doing business as Louis, Jonathan Joe, manager, for the all-alcoholic beverage restaurant license for premises at 11 Kearney Square, first floor, 3,750 square feet, 7 rooms, 1 entrance, 2 exits, a proposed seating of 128, proposed occupancy of 150. Respectfully request the commission to consider voting to schedule a public hearing on this application for a new license, scheduled to be held, meeting to be held, or the hearing to be held October 6, 2016.
Motion on the floor by Commissioner Krieger, seconded by Commissioner McCarthy. All in favor to set up a public hearing for October 6th? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Our next meeting agenda item is number 10, starting with public hearings regarding allegations of misconduct as charged by the Superintendent of Police, William M. Taylor. The first item is an allegation of misconduct as charged by the Superintendent of Police against the licensee known as LCRC, Inc., doing business as Dudley's. Matthew J. Murphy is the interim manager, this being an all-alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee at 19 Merrimack Street. And this is a complaint that was set out by the superintendent in his communication to the License Commission dated August 2nd, 2016.
Counselor, state your name for the record.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Chairman and the fellow commissioners. My name is Attorney Michael Zame. I'm here with Mr. Murphy, who's the interim manager of LCRC, doing business as Dudley's.
Counselor, would you like the complaint read into the record or waive it?
We're going to waive the reading, and if I could take care of one housekeeping measure
Absolutely.
for the board.
Sure.
As you know, Mr. Murphy was placed as interim manager. We've been in touch with Mr. Wynn over this issue. It was shipped down to Boston. Boston, the ABCC came back with, there was an issue with the Department of Revenue. There's some ironing out those issues right now between what the numbers actually are that they owe. Once those numbers are agreed upon, the payment will be made. And then at that point, they'll issue the certificate of good standing, which is needed for the ABCC to go forward and approve your action here at the local level. So I just wanted to take care of that to keep you guys updated as to
Good to know.
what was going on with that issue.
Great. Floor is yours, Counselor.
Yes.
Before the floor,
Counselor
Commissioner,
Ho-
I'd like to make a disclosure that 2 years ago, I represented Mr. Murphy's mother in a probate of an estate totally unrelated to Dudley's. I've never represented Mr. Murphy or Dudley's, so I wanted to disclose that for the record and let you know, Attorney Zame. And I believe I can faithfully and impartially discharge my duties as a commissioner.
I'm sure you can, and we have no objection.
Thank you.
Counselor.
Floor is yours, Counselor.
Yes. If you look at this report, I believe it was Detective Byrd who was working a compliance check for the Lowell Police Department that evening, and he encountered a young lady who was appeared to be in distress on Page Street behind Dudley's. He made contact with her. He determined that, in his opinion, she was intoxicated and that she was turned out to be 19 years old. Her sister, who happened to be 21, was also with her, and she indicated to Detective Byrd that they had been in Dudley's beginning at around 7 o'clock that evening. He took care of the young lady, made sure she got home, had her welfare checked with the Trinity ambulance, and also made contact with the young lady's father, and the father came down and picked her up, so he did get her home safely and did a nice job making sure she got home safely. As this board knows, the licensee here is charged with 2 counts of allowing serving alcohol to a minor and serving alcohol to a person who's intoxicated. As this board also knows, is that the law requires that they actually witness or that they actually see the hand-to-hand delivery or the sale of alcohol to the person, and we don't have this lady in. There's no evidence that this lady was in Dudley's other than the word of her and her sister. I'm going to suggest to you that she's not here to be cross-examined as to her whereabouts. I don't know what, if any, steps Detective Byrd took to determine, what door she went in, who checked her ID, or who she passed by that allegedly didn't check her ID, how she got alcohol, where she got it from, whether it was a bartender, whether it was a waitress, did her sister go up and get her the alcohol? And again, none of that is in the report. And I would suggest that that evening was part of Folk Festival weekend. Friday night was a busy night that they had. They were well aware that the police were out that night doing alcohol compliance checks. They were on their toes. Mr. Murphy has a restaurant portion of this section, and there are people that are allowed to be on the premises who are under the age of 21. That day, beginning at noontime, they had people stationed at the door, checking identifications as people came in the door. If someone came in who was over the age of 21, they received a certain color bracelet. If someone came in who was under 21, they received a different color bracelet, and also their hand was marked with a black X, so that to ensure that there was no confusion. Not only that, the bartenders and the waitresses were all charged with, even though you have the doorman check-in or the staff check-in at the door, is that if you have any question regarding, anybody, we've got the system of the bracelets, but also you're obviously entitled to say, I want to see your ID as the person making that hand-to-hand delivery of the alcohol. So with respect to that, is that I don't see that the report that I've waived the reading into the record shows that the person was actually in, and we have only her word. And again, whether or not she was or not it remains to be seen, but there's no evidence that she was at all.
Thank you, Counselor. While Counselor Zame and Mr. Murphy up there, any questions from the board? No? Detective Byrd.
Good evening.
State your name for the record, please.
Jason Bird?
Detective, you heard what Attorney Zame said. Do you have any reply to any of those comments?
There was a lot of comments. At the beginning, what he said is accurate, how I come in contact, and basically, it was the word of the two females that they were served inside Dudley's.
At no time did you see them come out of Dudley's or
No,
enter
sir. I
Dudley's?
saw them outside the bar on the Page Street, but they are both here.
The people are here?
Yes, they're both sitting right there with their father.
That's great. Ladies, can you come to the... Can we swear in these witnesses?
I would recommend that you swear them in.
Do you have something that I could read to them? Because I wouldn't let Attorney Zame do it. It'll put some words in my mouth, I know that.
Certainly.
Can I just speak to counsel?
Sure you may.
Oh, sorry.
Ladies, I'm going to ask you to raise your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony you are about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, Attorney Veloso?
I just want to make it clear for the record, too, ladies, that you do have, under the United States Constitution, a Fifth Amendment right to withhold testimony to the extent that it may self-incriminate you. You have the right to invoke that right of Fifth Amendment at any time during your testimony. Is that understood?
If you both get to the lectern. Did you in fact enter the front door of Dudley's?
Yes, we did.
Yes. At any time were security, anybody there ask you for an ID?
Can I interrupt you 1 second?
Sure.
Can we have them identify themselves so we know?
Oh, I apologize. Thank you, Counsel. State your name for the record.
Michaela Smith?
Michaela, thank you,
And Shelby Smith.
and Shelby Smith. Both are in the incident report by Detective Byrd. So once again, I'll ask those same questions again. You entered the front door of Dudley's?
Yes.
At that time, anybody from the establishment ask you for your ID?
No.
What did you do at that point?
We just walked in.
You walked in, and what did you do?
We went to the back to the patio,
Yep.
and we just hung out.
We hung out there.
Yeah, we were just talking and dancing.
Did you order drinks at that time?
No.
No.
I was able to order drink. Because I'm 22.
All right, did somebody ask, so you both were in the back there, you ordered the drink. Did the bartender ask Michaela for her ID?
I did not buy a drink.
You did not buy a drink, so you were the only one drinking.
I was the only one drinking,
I
yes.
This is at about 7 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
About
Okay, so then what transpired?
And then, what was the question?
What transpired after that?
What happened after that?
Yeah.
We just hung out there, and then,
we hung out, we talked to friends, I danced. That's all really. And then we ended up leaving.
At what time?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't
Don't know the
recall.
time. Dark?
Yeah, it was darker out.
All right, so I guess,
I wasn't
why, how did it get to the point that your dad came to pick you up because you were intoxicated?
Yes.
But you had said you were not drinking.
I drank previous. I did not drink at Dudley's. I drank previous before going there.
Okay. Detective Byrd, did you know that in fact happened, that she said she drank previously, or
That was not my impression.
that was not your impression? Your impression was she was drinking at Dudley's?
Correct.
All right. I'll let my fellow commissioners ask some questions. Commissioner Donahue?
Bracelets when you entered?
No.
No.
We had no identification of who was 21 and who wasn't. We walked in with a group of friends, also, we just walked in.
Which door?
The front door. I've never been to Dudley's before, the friends we were with just brought us there, so.
Okay.
Was there anybody checking IDs?
There was, but they didn't ask for ours, and I assumed they would have because I don't look like I'm 21, so I always get carded, so I was surprised that they didn't.
Commissioner Howe?
Huh?
Commissioner Howe?
Approximately how long were you at Dudley's, in hours?
A couple hours?
Probably, I would say 2 hours.
2 hours?
So-
And during that time, during the 2-hour period, Michaela, how were you feeling?
I didn't feel so good. I ended up going to the bathroom, and that's why I wanted to leave, because I wasn't feeling good.
And that's because of
That's
the,
why I went outside, and that's why I was like kind of upset and
then
everything. And
Yeah,
that's
and then
when-
I called my dad.
That's when we called our dad because we needed to leave, and then I also talked to the police officers outside.
and did either of you tell the police officer that you had been drinking in Dudley's?
I don't think I did. But then again, I was intoxicated. But from what I understand of that night, I did not say that. I said that I walked in and I had drank previously. I never bought a drink there. So
No other question?
Commissioner Krieger?
Yeah. So, Ms. Shelby Smith, you had one drink,
Yes,
and you're 22 years old, so you're legal.
yes,
But nobody checked your ID.
no.
So once again, at no time when you were at Dudley's did you consume any alcohol?
no,
That's your sworn testimony.
yes,
All right.
not that.
Any other further comments from the board before I let Councilor Zame ask questions? Councilor Zame? No questions? But Detective Byrd has said he did not ask that question if you were in fact drinking inside Dudley's, and Michaela Smith's testimony is that she was not drinking.
I'm sorry, Commissioner, did I say that I didn't ask them? I did ask them.
You asked them if they were drinking inside Dudley's.
Right, that's why I wrote that in my report. It was my impression that both of them were drinking.
Okay,
I did not see it firsthand, is my
you didn't see it, so.
correct. But when I talked to them originally, they said they entered the establishment around 7. By the time I made contact with them, it was close to 10 o'clock. So we're talking 3 hours later for someone still to be intoxicated, kind of
Yeah.
leads to believe that she was drinking.
I hear you. Further comments from the board? Commissioner Krieger?
So it didn't, the fail-safe system at Dudley's didn't work, but apparently they lucked out and nobody underage had a drink. So it seems to be kind of a push here. My other question would be, was there some manager responsibility for these two ladies based upon, one of them was lying down on the ground. How far were you from Dudley's?
Not far.
Not far, we just, I don't know.
Not far.
Right down the street, but,
Yeah.
But down the street.
yeah.
Anyone else? I guess I'm going to use a line that my predecessor, Chairman Brian Occasion, said, saying, "You got one bite of the apple, Mr. Murphy." All right? I would tighten up your practices of letting minors in, especially with both these young ladies said that nobody approached either one of them, and they look like high school students to me. So we're going to let you have one bite of the apple. That would be my motion. I would ask that the matter be placed on file, but please tighten up the ship. You also know that you are an interim manager, and you'll have to come in front of this board. So far, there hasn't been going. The ship has been fairly good for the last 8 weeks since you've been there. We hope the matter of the taxes is cleared up, but I would make sure that we're staying on top of things.
I'll second your motion.
Seconded by Commissioner McCarthy. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Any opposed? Thank you very much.
Commissioner, now
Secretary Wynn,
proceed with
Secretary Wynn, can we take a complaint out of order? I would like to take the allegation of misconduct as charged by William N. Taylor, Superintendent of Police, against Mill City Ballroom, doing business as Mill City Ballroom, Joel Azadorian, manager, all alcoholic beverages, restaurant licensed at 74 Merrimack Street, as set out in Superintendent Taylor's communication dated August 12th. Do I have a second? Second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Can we have the parties up to the lectern, please? Mr. Azadori? State your name for the record, please.
Joel Azadorian.
Mr. Azadorian, do you have legal counsel tonight?
I do not. We had legal counsel set up for tonight, but he's not able to make it.
Okay. Would you like the complaint read into the record, or would you like to waive it?
It can be waived.
Thank you. I'm going to let you have the floor. You know the complaint?
Well, actually, if you're going out of order, is it the last?
It is.
Is the last complaint?
Concerning the incident on August 7th.
With the underage drinking, is that what this is?
That's correct.
All right. This was not a 21 and under event.
Okay.
In any way. Take full responsibility. The girls in question were not allowed through the front door. I believe that we may have had a security failure through the back door, from what I'm understanding from talking to people. We've taken quite a bit of precaution and put standalone at the back door so nobody can get in through that direction. I have brought my front door security, people that were there, my head bartender for the evening. The head bartender's been showed pictures, as well as the front door security, as to whether she was allowed to enter through the front. She definitely was not. And they're here to testify in that behalf. And my lead bartender, which there were only 2 others on that night, all within close proximity. They were all shown the pictures of the girl that says that she was drinking, and they said that they did not, in fact, serve her that evening.
Do you know how she got in?
I believe she got in through the back door. I believe we had a couple issues prior to this with bands coming in through the back door, and the door was left unattended. And I believe that, you know, that's the only way that she could have actually gotten in. The elevator downstairs is locked from 10 o'clock on. The upstairs isn't open before 10 on this particular evening. And it was just quite simply a failure on my part that she was in the building at all. I don't, you know, I've interviewed quite a few people when I was made aware of this. Somebody who identified herself as her sister was downstairs at the end of the evening, saying that her sister was up there. I waited with the officer as well to see if she came down. She never did make it down. I was aware, and that's really all we can say. None of the bartenders say that she was served. And again, I have the lead bartender and I have my head doorman here.
How many people were at the event?
It was a slower night. I would say approximately 165, 175.
How many bartenders were?
3.
3? And none of them remember them coming up to the bar? Not that they could have somebody bought their drinks.
It absolutely do. I've been made aware that her mother was present that night upstairs.
Okay.
And that's, I haven't been able to get very much more story beyond that. Was made aware of this coming down to the police station. I thought the girl was wrong, to be honest with you, ahead of time. She was downstairs saying her sister was up there, and she was supposed to be coming down, and she never did.
Okay. I just want to go off to a little bit to the left here. The rapper you had that night, Little Poopy, I mean, obviously you would have done your due diligence and understand what type of crowd that may have come into your club that night. And I'm wondering, with what happened with the DJ or people behind the DJ throwing alcoholic beverages into the crowd and crowd throwing them into there, where was security?
It was at the end of the night. We were clearing everything out. I was told that an ice bucket was thrown, not alcoholic beverages. The tables are all cleared at 1 o'clock. We have put several other initiatives in place per the request of the officers there. Things like we don't let people in at all. After 1:10, even though I know 1:30 is the cutoff.
I think what I'm trying to get at, Mr. Avazadorian, is, and I can remember you standing right at that lectern when you first got this license, and I said, I really hope that you think long and hard about what type of place you want this to be because of who was in there previously. And we really didn't want, as a city, to see something which is pretty much continued from the previous owners to you. And you promised me inside and out that this is not going to be that, it's going to be something else, we're going to, country and West End, we're going to do different things. And you bring in an element here that, you know what, you're looking at the barrel of the gun, basically. I mean, I don't understand, because now you've been in front of this board, I believe, 5 or 6 times, and I'm sorry, I'm going to do better. And personally, I think you want to, but we're looking for a responsible manager here. And when I look at events like this and the type of people, and I'm not stereotyping, but I guess I am, right? This is what you get. And you know what? We put the lives of our officers in your hands that night, and something seriously could have happened to these officers that night. And I'm just wondering where your mind was when you tried to put an act like this in the city that night, when you knew, let's say you did have it, but you know what? You said it happened at the end of the night. Well, to me, that's when you should have more security on rather than at the beginning of the night, because you know what? Everybody's been drinking. You know what? You know this is going to happen. and you know what, we're clearing up, nobody's really around. They don't have time to call the police. The police have to hear it somewhere else. They're going into the line of fire. It's not a good situation. It's not. And this is exactly what I was telling you when you first took over this establishment, that you had to dot your I's and cross your T's. And this is where we're at. And I'm sorry it's come to this. I really am. Because, yeah, the hammer's coming down. There's no question. The hammer's coming down tonight. I'm going to let my colleagues speak.
And I take responsibility for it 100%, and regardless of what's going on, I've already been in the process of looking for a replacement manager of record that's going to do a better job. We've put a lot of things in place, and we
Are you selling the place, or are you just changing a manager of record?
We have looked into selling the place.
Yep.
And, you know, we'd like to, you know, I think ultimately for all of this stuff, somebody can do a much better job than me. And I don't want to penalize all the hardworking people that are there. You know, almost all Lowell-based people. The people that come to our place are almost all Lowell-based. It's just a failure on my part to recognize problems prior to them occurring, as opposed to being more proactive handling these situations. And you know, I take full responsibility 100%. I mean, I've brought security up to literally 10 over there. We literally clear people, not just from out of our establishment, but all the sidewalks in which we have no jurisdiction on, straight out, even past the street at this point, to try to make the officers' lives easier. In general, I know they have our establishment and a few others that clear out at this time. I've cooperated with them at the end of the day, but ultimately, this is my failure and not the failure of the establishment. It's my failure not seeing ahead and instead looking behind to implement the things that need to be implemented over there. And I really feel bad for all the people that work there, that they have to deal with my failure on that part.
Thank you very much. Questions, comments, other board members?
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Krieger, then Commissioner Howell.
So the report I have says that Ms. Precious Perea was escorted out or assisted from the club by a friend, Rosalie Sanchez, 16 years of age. Now, was this after she'd left your premises, or was Rosalie Sanchez on your premises?
No one was, we actually didn't escort anyone out in this particular circumstance. From my knowledge, whatever happened, they were on the dance floor, from what I understand. An ice bucket got thrown. They immediately left. We were downstairs making question as to what had happened. I think they scurried out. Maybe they scurried out of there because they knew they weren't supposed to be there. Like I said, through further inquiry, I do know that the mother was present that evening. I don't.
It's possible you had 2 underage females in the upstairs.
That it is possible, yes.
All right. Now, Officer Ng, I hope I pronounced that right.
I don't think
Okay.
he's here, is he? Officer Yang here? No, thank you.
If I may, Mr. Chairman, I believe Sergeant Murray is here, though.
Okay. Anyway, claimed that he photographed Ms. Perea's injuries and a hand stamp she received when admitted to the club. I'm not seeing her getting a hand stamp coming in the back door.
People are not hand-stamped on the way in, they're only hand-stamped on the way out for admission to come back.
I see.
The only
Okay.
time we implement something along those lines with bracelets and stamps is if we were doing any kind of event that would be under 21.
It should be noted to the board that the two young ladies are in attendance. If you'd like to bring them up for questioning, you may. Commissioner Howe, question?
I don't have a problem with the types of acts that you apparently are bringing in the city. What I have a problem with is the apparent lack of security. How many people were on security that night?
That evening, we had 8 on that evening.
And why did you, is that more than usual?
We had brought in additional security directly following the Folk Fest to assist with street clearing. And so at the end of the night, beyond being upstairs clearing, officers downstairs had told us that they would like us to go beyond our borders and clear the streets. So we brought in an additional 2 and kept them there for no matter what circumstances.
And you agree it was important to secure the premises because of the large crowd you were expecting?
Yeah, it's always important to secure the premises.
But yet the back door was left unattended and not secure.
Yes, the back door is supposed to be locked via the outside all the time. However, we did identify that there was, at some point soon thereafter this, that the door could relatively easily be pried open. And so we put additional back stairwell security in place.
You had indicated that you had heard that an ice bucket had been thrown. Where were you in the building when you heard that?
I heard it later on in the evening when I was inquiring as to what happened, because we had somebody downstairs. I was not made aware at that point of any injuries from anyone. That was security, they didn't see anyone get hurt. They saw that the bucket got thrown.
The security had seen the bucket get thrown?
Yeah, that's how I heard about it, yeah.
Did any of your employees tell you that they saw this woman walking down the stairs, her face bleeding?
No one saw anybody walking down the stairs bleeding, but they did see some people in the crowd leaving right at that time. However, everyone was, we were already clearing the building, so everybody was being cleared at that time.
Is there anyone here tonight with you that was there that evening?
Yes. Yep.
Can I question?
Yep.
No? Can you please state your name?
Julian Oliveira.
Mr. Oliveira, on August 7th, 2016, were you present at Mill City Ballroom?
Yes.
And what was your occupation at the time?
I was doing security on the stairwell.
How long had you been working there?
I've been working there since they opened,
Which was when?
about 2 years ago now.
So, at any time during that night, did you see Ms. Precious Perea?
I did not.
At some time during the night, did you become aware that an incident had occurred? Was it on the 3rd floor?
Yes.
What did you become aware of?
I found out about it at the end of the night. When her sister, I think it was her sister that was downstairs saying that she was upstairs and we were waiting for her to come out.
So where were you located during the
At that point, I was at the bottom of the stairs where the sidewalk is.
So you weren't up in the area where the VIP
No.
lounge is?
No.
No. Is there anyone here that was in that area with the VIP lounge?
How you doing? Derek Arahita, lead bartender. All I really saw was like an altercation between the DJs and someone in their party. There was some yelling and shouting. By then, all the security is already downstairs. Now, when we leave people out, there's a skeleton crew up there because it's usually just bartenders, DJs, people that are waiting for their money. We don't leave the floor open for anybody to cause trouble. Once the security does their job, they push everybody downstairs, and usually I come in and I help people out and clear out other pockets of people. So all I know is that there was a little altercation Over there, I heard ice and stuff moving and some girls screaming, and by then, security was on and people were outside, and that was it. That was the end of it.
Where was the altercation?
By the DJ booth.
By the DJ pool? Is that near the VIP?
That's right by the VIP, almost towards the exit, so everybody's already funneling around that way, towards the
And when you
left.
say altercation, what do you mean? What did you see?
I just heard screaming, like
You heard
some
screaming?
catty stuff, girls yelling back and forth. It's nothing new. It happens all the time, like with girls.
Screaming all the time?
Yep. I'm just saying, like, girls are the bigger problem than men. They're the ones puffing their chests up, trying to swing at people. Like, it gets ridiculous. So at the end of the night, we just leave enough people upstairs just to take care of that. But by then, security's on the street, clearing the sidewalk, because we've tried numerous times to get details, and we don't get them. Numerous times making phone calls to get details for these concerts, for these things, and we don't get them. My mom's an ex-state trooper. She runs a private security firm. She's done walkthroughs with us. We've gone through all the motions. But without detail help, pretty much looks like we're getting hung out to dry.
So what was the altercation that you saw? What did you see? You said you heard screams. What did you see?
I just heard, like I said, it's dark in there, the lights are dim, we're clearing people out. I see a couple girls, some screaming, some ice moving, and I'm more yelling at the DJ, because by then they should already have their stuff done.
What do you mean by ice moving?
The ice bucket. Like, I just heard the ice hit the floor. That's when I turned over, that's when I see the girls are already on their way down, and now I'm yelling at the DJ because they should already have their stuff cleared out by then.
And did you see the ice bucket?
No, I just saw the mess on the floor.
So you don't know if it was an ice bucket or not?
No, I'm just assuming because
Could
there
have
was
been a
ice everywhere.
bottle?
No, no bottle.
No?
No,
No
bottles are
bottle?
cleared at roughly 110, 115 protocol. We do that, they're off the tables.
So if Precious Perea gets up and says it was a bottle that hit her, you didn't see that?
I don't even think she saw what she got hit with.
How do you know that?
I'm just saying, with everything going on, and if she's inebriated or whatever she says she was.
Is it because she's a female?
No.
She doesn't have the ability to see?
From behind?
No,
She said something hit her from behind. So how would you see that? You're just assuming.
After this incident or altercation, did you call the police?
No, that's for security to handle downstairs. I have to take care of money. When there's money in the building, I can't go off and do other stuff. Like, we have to secure that first.
So what did you do? Is there a protocol that you would, if something happens, do you call downstairs and say, hey, call the police?
We have a runner go downstairs to see what's going on, and by then they bring the report upstairs once the sidewalk's cleared.
And
Everybody
did that
discusses
happen
what
that
happened.
night?
I'm not aware of that.
No, I was actually I was downstairs and standing there with the officer. The girl kept saying that her sister was upstairs, but she never came out. So I didn't know if maybe she was wrong about her coming out. I hadn't been informed about any information at that point in time. I'm downstairs making sure that the streets get cleared quickly.
This last gentleman that just testified, did he ever tell you, or did you hear that night about the girls screaming and the ice bucket?
I heard that, I didn't hear the screaming part. I heard that someone yelled, and that was the most part of it. One of the security officers said that people were rushing out, but no one identified that anyone was actually hurt, just that an ice bucket was thrown and that they ran off. It was actually one of the servers that had said that the ice bucket was thrown. So that was where we got the ice bucket information.
So if Ms. Pereira told the police that a lot of your employees saw her bleeding and didn't help her, is she not being truthful?
Yeah, that would be completely inaccurate. If we ever see anyone that got hurt, I mean, there was someone who fell down the stairs not too long ago. Police ambulance was called immediately. We would have tried to get some support there if that was the case. I mean, I truly believe that in this circumstance, if she was hurt there, which I don't have anybody saying that she was, that she literally rushed out without telling anyone that she was hurt. And even, in fact, her sister apparently thought she was up there still. I would have wanted to see the girl be okay if she'd gotten hurt and notified somebody, 100%.
Thank you. I don't have any questions for these gentlemen. I just have questions for the injured party.
I have a question for the bartender. Yes. Did you say you were alone upstairs on the third floor?
No, I wasn't alone. Again, it's a skeleton crew. Basically, everybody's cleaning, running around. I'm doing the registers. And so we usually try to leave one bouncer up, but we want to make a presence on the street because we've already been, talked to about that.
Was there a bouncer up there that night?
Usually there is one roaming back and forth. Once they see that the crowd's dissipating, they come upstairs. So I'm just,
There that night?
again, when the people were moving, that pocket moved. Like I said, I heard an altercation, I heard stuff falling, and then I seen a group of people move, and then I started yelling at the DJ because he had to get his stuff, out. That's
You don't
pretty
know
much
if there was any more extra security up there at that time?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, thank you.
You had something to add, sir? You state your name for the record, please.
My name is Scotty Foreman. I am the security manager at Mill City Ballroom. I was up there that night. We were in the stages of clearing everybody out, so we had probably about maybe 50 people. Honestly, I don't know, or I don't recall. But what I do recall is I do recall seeing some ice flying as we were getting the patrons to move. I didn't see anybody get hit. I found out after the fact that there may have been somebody that got hit and that they quickly scurried out of the building. So what I can say is that we are fully trained and equipped to handle any type of emergency situations, and if there was somebody that was blatantly bleeding or running out frantically, then we would have given them immediate assistance.
So you say there was about 50 people left. How many security personnel were left with those 50 people?
Just me upstairs, because
Just you?
Yes, because what happens is we get the majority of the people outside,
Yep.
and we try to work with the police officers because they've voiced their main concern to us as the outside being the biggest, their biggest problem as far as clearing people out and getting them to move along so that we don't have any problems. So what we did was we get the majority of the people out, and then I send most of my guys downstairs to help with the flow on the stairs, downstairs, so that there's no altercations there, as well as outside.
Do you know who was throwing the alcoholic beverages first? I mean,
Honestly, I don't. All I saw was ice. That's really all I saw. I didn't see anybody get hit, and I didn't see anybody leave out, and I was upstairs.
Sergeant, you here? State your name for the record, sir.
Joseph Murray.
Commissioner McCarthy?
Could you just tell us what you know about the situation?
I began an investigation into the 18-year-old girl who had received the injury over her eye. I spoke with her. She's here tonight if you want to hear from her directly, but basically she said she went to the club with a friend of her sister's who was 25 years of age. She went to the front door. She was asked for ID. She produced her mass driver's license, which clearly shows she's under 21. She then described how she went from the street level to the first floor level where there was a woman behind a desk who took $10 from her to enter the club, marked her hand. She and her friend then went upstairs. She purchased at least one alcohol beverage. That at some point the VIP area and the crowd began to throw drinks back and forth at each other. That she was initially hit in the back of the head with an ice bucket that caused her to fall and lose her glasses. That when she retrieved her glasses and stood up, she was hit in the face with a bottle, causing a laceration above her eye. She was bleeding profusely. She was helped out of the club by a 16-year-old girl by the name of Rosalie. That she passed several staff members of the club. Nobody asked her if she needed help or assisted her in any way. She was then driven to the hospital. I spoke with the friend. She's also here tonight, Mariah Rosario. She's 25 years of age. She said she went to the front door with Precious. They were both asked for IDs. They both produced their licenses. They were both allowed, again, to the first floor level, where she also paid a $10 cover charge. Her hand was marked. She was allowed into the club. She lost sight of Precious at some point. They went their own way. When she saw Precious again, Precious was bleeding profusely. She went outside with her. Again, she stated they passed several employees of the club and nobody assisted her in any way. They also spoke with Precious's older sister, stated that she arrived at the club. At some point, she found out that her sister had been hurt. She was trying to locate her. She had a conversation with the owner of the club out front and never located her sister until she found her at the hospital later in the evening. She also stated one of the DJs that was at the club that night, he goes by DJ Money, his real name is Julius Sakai, met her at the hospital, where he advised her that she shouldn't pursue the matter with lawyers because the Mill City Ballroom has better lawyers and that she wouldn't get anything out of it and that they were messing with his money. I talked with Mr. Sakai. He admits that he was working at the club that night as a DJ, said that the only thing he knew was that another DJ had thrown something into the crowd after somebody threw something at him. He did admit to going to the hospital but couldn't remember what he said. I've also spoken to Mr. Asadorian about the matter. He was basically unaware of anything happened, didn't really believe anything happened because he spoke to Precious's sister out front, claimed he waited for everybody to come out, and because he never saw anybody came out that was bleeding, that maybe it didn't happen. When I advised him that the victim was 18 years of age, I asked him to explain how an 18-year-old could get into the club. He had no explanation for that, other than maybe she snuck in. I then advised him that there was a witness to the bottle being thrown by a person who was 16 years of age. He had no explanation as to how that could have occurred. We also spoke about what was going on that night. He made it clear that you had to be over 21 to be in the club, that the only entertainment that night was DJs, that this rapper that was mentioned earlier was supposed to perform, but did not for some reason. And he was 12 years old and didn't leave the club until 1:15 in the morning.
Thank you, Sergeant. Great report.
Any other comments, questions for the sergeant? No? Yeah. No. Thank you, Sergeant. Ladies in the corner, can you all come up to the lectern, please? All who are involved in the complaint. Sir, are you here as counsel?
My name is Terrence Gillen. I'm with the law office of Todd Beauregard. I am here to give support and represent Precious Perea. As you have heard tonight, there is a troubling undercurrent of this culture with the nightclub that made her feel that she had to have somebody be with her, and that is why I'm here tonight on her behalf. I just want to introduce myself before that. These other young ladies I have not met before this evening, before they walked up.
Thank you, Counselor. Could you all state your name at the lectern, please?
Precious Perea.
Rosalie Sanchez.
Mariah Rosario.
Jasper Perea.
Ladies, I'm going to ask you to raise your right hand. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do. I'd also like to state for the record that I am a school administrator. What?
No, go ahead.
I'm a school administrator for the Lowell Public Schools, and if I'm not mistaken, Rosalie Sanchez is a Lowell High School student, or an alternative being? Okay, we have never met each other. I do not know you personally. I just wanted that stated for the record.
I also wanted stated for the record to Precious Perea and Rosalie Sanchez, just to advise you as an officer of the court that you do have a Fifth Amendment right to not self-incriminate yourself. Should you feel it appropriate, you may invoke the Fifth Amendment if you should desire in your testimony. Thank you.
Ms. Perea, Sergeant Murray gave us quite a comprehensive summary of what transpired that night. Is your story any different than what Sergeant Murray testified, or do you have anything else to add?
Can I just retell it?
Sure you may.
Okay, so I was invited by Mariah because it was her birthday, and it was kind of like a family thing. A lot of our family was invited. Some couldn't show up, and me and Mariah had went to the club, and they did ask for my ID, and I did show them my 18-year-old ID, and they let me in.
Do you know who you showed the ID to?
No, I don't remember.
None of the gentlemen are here, right?
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
No.
Okay.
And so they took a quick glance, sent me up to the first level, and a woman took the money, and there was a man to the right of me and marked my hand with an X. I went up, and me and Mariah were enjoying ourselves. My sister came after. We're all, having our fun. Then I got thirsty. I had went up to the bar, and I asked if I can get like a fruity drink. And I was given my drink, and as I walked away, it was alcohol. I did not ask for alcohol. And as I go on, I'm still enjoying myself, and I did go back after like a half an hour, and I did get another drink, asked for the same thing, I received the same thing.
What was it?
I don't know, but I do know that it was alcohol. I just asked for a fruity drink, I did not ask for alcohol. As we went on, there was someone in the VIP section they were throwing their drinks in the air, like smiling about it, wetting us on the lower level. And I noticed people started getting like riled up, and like I was being pushed and stuff because other people were trying to throw their drinks on the lower level. And as soon as that happened, I look and I see that there's a man up there and he's bent over. I'm looking for my sister. She was next to me, but I don't know where she went. So I turned around and I get hit in the back of my head. My glasses did get knocked off. I did see an ice bucket by my feet, and I was soaked and wet. I'm still looking for my glasses, and I'm turned around, and as I look up, I get hit in the face with another object, which I was told was a bottle. I did not see that it was a bottle. No one helped me. Rosalie, she did come up to me, and she was like, "We have to get you out of here. You're gushing blood." No one helped me. I was aware that there was security around, and I was just being looked at. Like,
You said there was security around? How
Yes.
many security would you say there was?
I just seen one that was around.
Was it that gentleman there? Because he said he was the only one left up there with only 50 people left.
I don't recall.
Would you say there was 50 people left upstairs, or were there more?
No, that club was filled with people. Yes, it was filled. I was probably, when I was leaving, when I was being escorted out by no security, my friend Rosalie, we were alone. There was not even anyone in the staircases.
What time was that? Did you know?
That was like 1:10 maybe.
All right, I'm confused here because security's saying that they were ushering people out, and obviously you're not going to be ushering people out at 1:10 in the morning.
I got
Last
to
call
the-
is 1:30.
I got to the hospital by like 1:30.
Do we have
So-
record of that?
No,
Because there's quite a bit of disparity in the stories then if security's saying that they were ushering people out, and if this transpired at 1:10, when
This
I know
happened for a
last call
while.
would be 1:30, since the license is to 2 o'clock, it's not adding up to me.
The one way it would add up to me is that she actually got out before they started ushering people out, and therefore she was missed by Mr. Asadorian and his bouncers. But there are still the other issues, like how did Rosalie get in there?
If I may, members of the commission, if I may just direct it to Deputy Superintendent Friedel.
Please.
The only thing that I can give you for certain right now is the officer was dispatched and arrived at 2:05 a.m. to the hospital. So I don't know how long she had been there prior to the police being called.
Based on the report, it does state that Ms. Prada stated that it was sometime after 1 o'clock that she was struck. So based on timelines, it would make sense that around 1:45, 2 o'clock would be the time that Officer Ng was dispatched. Additionally, we have Officer Ng's report here indicating that he arrived at the hospital around that time.
We're just trying to work this time. 1:10 to 1:45 is a lot of time here, especially if we are calling a last call at 1:30, then I could see security starting to usher out people slowly. But if this happened at 1:10, and her testimony, she's swearing that the dance floor was full. Something doesn't mesh here.
Does she know how long she was at the hospital before the officer arrived to speak with her?
Like 20 minutes.
So that's 1:45 there. That means you got there probably 1:30.
Yes.
So I imagine it takes 15 minutes to get from Mill City Ballroom to
I
Lowell
went to Saints Memorial Hospital.
All right, so that's
sir.
maybe 5-10 minutes
Mhm.
right up East Merrimack.
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Sanchez,
Yes.
how did you get into the club?
I walked in
Same way as Ms. Perea?
with no ID. Yeah, walked in.
Nobody asked you for ID?
Nope.
No? Did you drink any alcohol that night?
No.
None at all?
Nope.
All right. Commissioners, have any questions for the young lady? Commissioner Donahue?
Just one. You just walked in the front door. You didn't speak to any staff?
Nope, I don't recall any of them
You didn't
being
pay
there.
$10 at the top of the stairs?
I paid the $10 and I went upstairs.
You did pay $10?
Yes.
So you were greeted by some members of the
Yeah, but
staff?
nobody asked me for an
They
ID.
didn't ask you for an ID?
Nope.
And what time did you arrive at the place of business?
Shortly after Precious and Mariah got there?
Do you know the time?
No,
No. Was it later in the evening or early evening?
later.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Howe?
Among the three friends that were there, did anyone actually see the incident? Are you Mariah?
My mom seen the whole thing, but she's not here. I mean, everybody saw it. It was there.
What did you see?
We were on the dance floor in front of the VIP, and I seen them throwing drinks, and people were looking up, and we started throwing drinks back, and then I seen a male pick up a bucket and throw it, and I went on top of the stage, and I got thrown off, and it took a while for security to get there to tell us to get out.
Did you come upon Precious after she had been hit?
As soon as I seen her hit, I carried her out. There was blood everywhere, so I don't know how they missed that.
Now, when you said there was blood everywhere, where are you talking about?
On the dance floor and on my shirt. There was blood on my hands and everything, so I don't know how they missed that.
And you were helping her out?
Yes, I walked her down the stairs and out,
And is this on the third floor of the building?
wherever the dance floor is, yeah.
So how many flights of stairs did you go down?
I walked straight down, and then I took a right down another flight of stairs, so I believe 2.
And approximately how many security or employees did you pass?
4.
Did you say anything to them?
I need help.
And what did they say? Who did you say that to?
I just said it in front of everybody that I needed help, and no one helped because of the other minor that was there. They were trying to get him out before us because I don't think he belonged there.
Who's that minor?
He goes by the name Little Poopy, a 12-year-old.
Right.
Yeah. I think they were more worried about him.
Thank you.
Yep.
Commissioner Krieger?
Yes, do you have a watch that you wear?
Do I?
Yes.
No.
When you got downstairs and outside, how did you get to the hospital?
I remember giving her to a family member that took her to the hospital, and then I went back upstairs to get everybody else.
I'm sorry, to get a what?
I went upstairs, I walked her outside,
Yep.
and there was another family member there that took her to the hospital. I stayed after.
Okay. So, so the family member has to take her to a car and then drive up?
How many people would you say were on the floor when the incident occurred? More than 50?
Yeah, I have videos of being there around, like, 10 minutes before it happened, of being at the club. It was really packed.
Let me ask you, what time do you think it was, or do you approximately?
1 o'clock, maybe.
Young lady, can you yep. Were you at the, tell us what happened with you.
I mean, same thing as Precious Per said. Everything happened. It was like around 1, I believe it was like 1:15 when it happened. But I have no other comments to say.
How many people do you think were on the floor?
I say a little over like 70 people on the dance floor.
70?
Yeah, like it was packed. But in total in the club,
All right,
like,
ladies, I'm trying to really get this story straight. So you say 70, you say 150.
I just said it was packed.
Well, he's saying, Mr. Azadorian's saying he had about 150 to 200 people,
maybe on like not including the VIP.
right?
Yeah.
It's including the VIP.
Not including
How many
VIP.
people would
Like
you
on the
think were
dance
there?
floor, just on the dance floor, like not around the
No,
bar,
on
whatever.
the whole floor.
Like 160, 170. Like it was really packed.
Okay. In the white shirt, you state your name again, please? I'm sorry.
Jasmine.
Jasmine,
Sorry.
what happened? Where were you when this all transpired?
I was right next to my sister, but as soon as they started throwing drinks, I like kind of blacked out.
Were they throwing like bottles, or were we talking plastic cups with booze in them?
At first, they were throwing they were like sprinkling their drinks.
Okay, yeah.
And then they started throwing the cups, and the people that were on the lower level started throwing their drinks back up, and then that's how it first started. Like that's how it started.
And then the bottles.
Then all that happened, but I was like so worried about everyone, like so much was going on, so I like blacked out. So I really don't recall.
Were you drinking that night?
Yes,
How old are you?
23.
23.
Mhm.
Okay. Was Ms. Sanchez drinking that night?
No.
Okay. Any further questions or comments for the young ladies? Commissioner Donahue?
For Precious. You indicate you came in the front door and you showed a license,
Yes.
then went up the stairs and paid $10.
Yes, sir.
Do you know if there's a back door to that bar?
That was my first time being there. I have no idea about a back door.
You've never seen a back door to that
No,
place?
sir.
Thank you.
If I may, Chairman, I just have one additional question.
Sure.
Precious? It's all right. When you were at the hospital, did an officer approach you to sort of ask you about what had happened?
Yes.
And did that officer take photographs of your injuries?
Yes.
Precious, I'm going to approach you and show you a photograph with the permission of the commission.
Go right ahead.
Precious, can you take a look at that photograph, please?
Yes, sir.
Do you recognize who's in that photograph?
Yes, it's me.
And is that an accurate representation of the injury you sustained?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I just want the record to reflect that that is a accurate photograph.
How many stitches did you receive?
10, 2 on the inside, 8 on the outside.
The security, sir, yes. I'm still having a problem with time, and I want to make sure. Sure.
I have the doorman that was on duty that night here as well.
Okay. Well, he had given testimony that they were ushering people out. So when you said that, I'm thinking that last call has already happened, and it's 20 of 2, quarter of 2 when this all transpired. Then you turn around and something happens. The young lady's testimony is, which kind of falls in line with Ms. Paria's attendance at Lowell, at Saints Memorial. So your time and their time really don't match up at all. And this is where I have a real difficult time with here. So what time did you say it happened?
I would say at least 1:30, because there are times that we usher people out a little bit early, depending on the crowd, but always at 1:30.
Did you have a last call?
Yes.
What time's last call?
Last call is usually between 1:15 and 1:20. And Saints Memorial, Saints Memorial is in very close proximity to.
5 minutes max.
Exactly.
I got it.
So if they're leaving at 1:10, it doesn't take a half an hour to get to Saints Memorial.
Right.
So.
You're saying 50 people on that floor when that happened?
On average. I don't know for certain, but I know when I'm the last person, there's usually only, there's not a lot of people
Well, you
there.
see where I'm going? We have 50 compared to 150. It's
Right,
a little bit of a difference.
But also one of them said 70 as well, so.
Who calls last call?
The DJ.
Ladies, did you hear a last call that night at any time?
I was already out of the building. I didn't hear nobody calling for.
You were out of the building. How do you know you were out of the building before last call? Because they're saying 1:20 was last call.
Well, I didn't hear anybody calling anybody. I didn't see anybody.
No, do you know what I mean by last call? Last call means last opportunity to buy alcohol.
Oh, no, I didn't hear any last call to.
Ladies, did you hear, any of you three hear anything?
No.
Commissioner Krieger?
Ms. Precious Perea, how did you got to Saints in a private car? Was it your family car?
No, she was not my family member. I actually had just met her within that moment. She was like, "We need to get you to a hospital," and that's when Rosalie left my side.
Okay, so where was the car parked?
It was right next to Duncan's. That's right next to Mill City. So really, honestly, not even far at all. It'd take me one minute to get there.
Okay, thanks.
The only sure way to do is corroborate this with the hospital to know when she was admitted.
I would submit too, Mr. Chairman, that given those are medical records under HIPAA, this commission would not be entitled to that. I would submit, though, that given the officer's testimony as well as the girl's testimony, I think it is safe to look at the times there and estimate that it was around the 1 o'clock time that this did occur. And I think it is important to emphasize the fact that not only did this incident occur, but the fact that Precious was not assisted at all by personnel, given the testimony that has been provided here. The fact that Precious was served alcohol at this establishment, which is contrary to both state law and our regulations. The fact that they were allowed on these premises. The fact that this disturbance occurred. The fact that we have the testimony from the own employees of the establishment that they do not maintain order and decorum. That Mr. Asadorian has indicated that the rear door is often open and he's not aware of the general goings-on of this establishment. I think given all of this and the testimony that we have received, there is some serious questions as to both the safety and the security of this establishment. And I think it is clear, based on the testimony that have been provided, that an illegality did occur and a serious injury did occur in which no employees apparently assisted this woman, based on the testimony that has been provided. And this injury was serious. Ms. Precious has corroborated and has agreed that the injury that had been demonstrated in these photos is accurate, that she required multiple stitches in order to be healed by the hospital. I would certainly submit that all of this, taken into account, suggests serious illegality going on at this establishment.
Commissioner McCarthy?
Mr. Asadorian, tell me about this VIP room. What is that?
It's not a separate room. It's just an upper stage area where people pay to get into.
Pay to get food? Pay to get what?
They pay to get up into that area.
And you
And
sell
also, if there's a performer, that's where they are separated from the crowd.
How do they get their drinks?
A server,
Server?
yeah,
They
a
can't
separate
buy-
server.
They can't buy a bottle of liquor and put it on the table?
No, they are served everything from the server, no matter what. We only put parties of 8 up there or greater, and we do sell champagne bottles, but everything is served by a server. There is nobody's allowed to touch the bottles in any way, shape, or form. I would say that they're saying, just as far as the timeline goes, the reason why Little Poopy that evening couldn't perform was because he didn't get there until approximately 1:10, and it was too late for us to perform. And just to give a timeline, we actually stopped serving alcohol at 1:20 upstairs instead of later. We want people to be able to finish their drinks and leave. So we actually instilled this quite a while ago so that people aren't complaining that they're not afforded the time to finish what they bought.
Given the time that Little Poopy arrived at your place, and you knew that he wasn't perform, why did he end up staying, a 12-year-old staying there?
He ended up coming in. We did do this through management. As to, I didn't bring any of that paperwork with me because I didn't realize that there was a question as to dealing with him. But I'm just stating that he did come at 1:10. Performers usually allowed to come in. The decision was made quite quickly that you're here too late. You're not going to be able to perform, and that was, and he didn't ultimately perform because he showed up so late. We do call 1:20. I would also like to point out that, one of them said that they weren't throwing drinks, and that one of the ladies here said that they were throwing drinks back at them, and also that you don't land at, I've never had anyone land at the bar and say, give me a fruity drink, and then they just walk away with it and not know what they're getting or what's going on as far as that goes. We have, like I said, right at the beginning, no matter what, these guys should not have been in there. There's just no question about it. They shouldn't have been allowed access. However, I would like to bring up my doorman here, and I would like to say that protocol at the front door is not just one person. It is, and none of them stated that, they said there's one person at the door. That is absolutely not true. There's the front lead who takes IDs. Every human being's pat down, including women. We have a woman and a male security guard at the front door. Everyone is patted down as they enter this, and everyone is ID'd as they enter into the building. So them saying that they just walked right through, there is nobody that walks through our place without getting patted down first. And we have a girl and a guy that does that.
So what happened?
I honestly believe that they snuck in through the back. I'm not trying, that doesn't matter, it's still our fault. I'm not trying to take away from our responsibility. Their story does not match up to our door policy, even in the slightest amount. Their time frame isn't matching up to what's going on, but that is irrelevant. This girl got hurt. I think she snuck into our place, which is our fault. And I think she was dancing, doing whatever. They caused problems with whatever was going on. We don't have too much information on that, and I think that at some point she either fell down, got hurt by something, and she rushed out because she wasn't supposed to be there in the first place.
Counsel, whose picture is, who was taken? Is this Little Poopy? When was this picture taken?
Sorry.
At the establishment that night?
Yes, but I don't know, I don't have the information as to precisely
But we
when.
don't know if it was before 1:10.
We do have testimony, though, that Little Poopy was there from around 1:10 to 1:15, and we had testimony that there was original belief that he was involved in the altercation. Thus, extrapolating from there, we can assume that the time of the incident was at least at the time when Little Poopy was on the premises, which would give the timeline, therefore, around 1:20, 1:30. which would then correlate with both the time of the injury, the time it would take to get to the hospital, the treatment time, as well as Officer Eng's arrival.
Girls, did you see Little Poopy before 1:10?
Yes, sir. Sitting down on top of their stage.
What time?
I got there like around 11:25 and he was there. Yes, sir. But he got there late.
May I say something?
Sure you can.
Actually, it's really bothering me. They might have like door policies, but doesn't mean they follow them. When I go there a lot, the securities always, they drink, obviously.
I
when they
don't
attend-
want to go down that
All right.
path right now. We're going to stick to the complaint.
All right.
I-
So
that
little.
que- So the question I just asked, you're telling me that Little Poopy was there at 11:30?
I met him walking out. He was there.
I don't have to remind each and every one of you, you're under oath. You understand that, right?
He was there,
He was there at 11:30.
sitting down.
He was there when I was there.
Sergeant Murray, you have anything else to add to this? I'm starting to get more confused as I continue.
His little manager.
I can say that when I asked what time Little Poopy left, it was at 1:15, and that came from Mr. Asadorian. It wasn't that he had arrived, it was, he left at 1:15. And the discussion about why he didn't perform, he didn't know why he didn't perform when I spoke with him. He just said that something came up and that he didn't perform. I would also suggest, I've been doing this for 28 years, 15 years as a detective. I go to the emergency room thousands of times.
Yeah.
They do nothing fast there. I'm sure everybody's been to the emergency room. So when somebody comes in with an injury, even if it's a gunshot, we don't get called immediately. The person is treated, there's information taken, and then the phone call comes in. That might explain some of the time delay. I would think that also Precious's sister talking to the owner, thinking that she was still in there, would indicate what time this may have happened also. That's why nobody saw her come out, because she had already left to go to the hospital.
So you asked Mr. Asadorian what time Little Poopy left, and he said 1:15.
That's correct.
All right. Didn't arrive at 1:15.
No, that he left at 1:15.
Okay. Commissioner Donahue?
Sergeant, how many cruisers had to show up at this bar that night? Do you know? I know you weren't there, but...
I was there.
Oh, you were there.
I was there at the end of the night. There was actually a fight. Several females were involved in a fight in the street. I believe 2 were arrested. So there were probably 6 cruisers at some point there.
Taken from other parts of the city.
Yes.
Thank you.
Commissioner Krieger?
Mr. Chairman, I think that we've established that there were people inside who were underage. Security failed to prevent them from getting in. I'm pretty confident we've established that there was underage drinking and that there was a situation where someone was injured.
Can I just ask a quick question to the ladies? I think it was Precious. You ended up with 2 fruity drinks. Did you pay for them?
Yes.
How much?
Remember.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, Commissioner, go ahead.
So I think that we have enough to say that there were problems that we should take cognizance of, and that it would not be unreasonable for us to take action against Mill City Ballroom, including possibly suspending them for 4 days.
I would like to ask the secretary how many days are being held in abeyance at this point.
I'm sorry.
Can you tell us how many days have been held in abeyance at this
yes.
point?
Based on a decision of the License Commission in February of 2016, violation of regulations, there had been a 5-day suspension, which is held in abeyance till April 23rd, 2017. And at that time, when that 5-day suspension was voted upon and to be held in abeyance, it also included the decision to impose a 5-day suspension from 3 decisions that were rendered by the License Commission in 2015. And that the licensee Mill City Ballroom had served a 5-day suspension April 19, 2016 to April 23rd, 2016.
Have
5
we-
days are held now in abeyance.
How many?
5.
5 days held in abeyance. Could you clarify your motion, Commissioner Krieger? Knowing now that we have 5 days that are being held in abeyance.
Yeah, I'm still in favor of 4-day suspension.
Do I have a second? Hearing no second, do I have an alternate motion?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to have a 10-day suspension, 7 days to be served, 3 days to be held in abeyance for 1 year.
Do I have a second? Seconded by Commissioner Howe. Any further discussion? All in the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, Mr.
Sure.
5 outstanding days. I'd like to see those imposed. I mean, we now have, based on what we've decided here, that they have violated the spirit and the decision of the board, and I think they should be imposed.
Let me ask Commissioner McCarthy if he would amend the motion that your motion was for 10 days, 7 being served, which would then have 8 days held in abeyance. Would you be willing to say that all 5 of the days being held in abeyance be served? And that,
Along with the 7 days?
along with the 7 days?
Absolutely.
You mean run concurrent?
Concurrent.
So that would be 12 days?
That would be 12 days. Is there a second on the
It'd be on
floor?
and after, so it'd be 12 days.
12 days with 3 days still held in abeyance.
Still held in abeyance.
Is there a second on the floor?
I will second that.
Second. Any further discussion on that motion? Roll call, please.
Chairman Dakota?
Yes.
Commissioner Krieger?
No.
Commissioner McCarthy?
Yes.
Commissioner Howe?
No.
Commissioner Donahue?
Yes.
Motion
Mr.
passes on
Chairman,
the
there are
floor.
3 yeas and 2 noes, so that the licensee is to serve a 12-day suspension, 3 of which to be, actually, it would be a 15-day suspension. Well, let me just rephrase that if I may.
Yeah,
A
13
5-day
days.
suspension that was rendered by the License Commission held in abeyance is to be served. In addition, there is a 10-day suspension, 7 of which days to be served, 3 to be held in abeyance. That motion was seconded by Commissioner Donahue. Vote was 3 yes, 2 no. And the question is, when does the commission wish to have this suspension to be served? Keeping in mind that the licensee has a right to appeal
Correct.
within 5 days after notice has been served.
Maker of the motion, would you be agreeable for the suspension to begin 2 weeks from tomorrow?
Yes.
Any of the board against that? No. All set with that? So we're looking at October 7th to begin.
2 weeks from tomorrow
Is that right?
would be the September 30th? Am I looking at?
Oh, no, that's right, I'm sorry.
You would-
That's right, our
you would
next
have it
meeting is
served
not
on
till-
October 1st, starting October 1st. Friday,
October 1st is a Friday, right?
No, Friday is the 30th, September 30th.
So Saturday, October 1st. Well, take it back.
Friday, October 30th. 31st?
September 30th.
September 30th.
September 30th. Next on the agenda, please.
Proceeding again with a complaint from the Superintendent of Police, William M. Taylor. Allegation of misconduct against Mill City Ballroom, Inc., doing business as Mill City Ballroom. Joe Lassadorian, manager, the all-alcoholic beverages restaurant licensee at 74 Merrimack Street. The allegations are set out by the superintendent in his communication dated August the 11th, 2016, and that would be an incident that occurred on July 30th, 2016.
Mr. Azadorian, approach your lectern. Please state your name again for the record.
Joel Asadorian.
Would you like the complaint read into the record, sir? Or would you like to waive that?
Yes, please.
Thank you. You want it read?
Yeah, I want to make sure I know what I'm talking about.
Deputy Superintendent Friedel, could you read the complaint, please?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I think it's the August letter.
Dear sir, the Lowell Police Department respectfully requests that enforcement action be taken against the above licensee for a violation which took place on July 30, 2016, specifically failure to maintain order and decorum in the licensed premises and in the immediately surrounding area adjacent to the licensed premises in violation of Section 1.16 of the regulations of the Lowell License Commission. On Saturday, July 30, 2016, at approximately 1:30 a.m., Detectives Leganis and Photomath of the Lowell Police Department Gang Unit were monitoring the closing of the Mill City Ballroom at 74 Merrimack Street. The detectives observed hundreds of patrons leaving the establishment. Earlier in the evening, the detectives had observed 8 members of the Asian Boys gang seated in the VIP area inside the Mill City Ballroom. They also observed approximately 12 members and associates of other gangs gathered outside. While observing the crowd of exiting patrons, the detectives saw a fight break out involving a female. The detectives intervened and stopped the fight. Detective Leganis was then grabbed by a man later identified as Ivan Marquez. Marquez refused to let go of the detective and began to fight with him. While attempting to subdue Marquez, Detectives Leganis and Photomath were surrounded by the crowd. Members of the crowd attempted to pull Marquez away, and Detective Leganis was repeatedly struck by several people. Sergeant Thomas Lombard came to the aid of the detectives and was forced to discharge a taser at Marquez to subdue him. 10 officers were needed at the scene for over 30 minutes to restore order. Kindly schedule a hearing on this matter at your earliest convenience. Very truly yours, William M. Taylor, Superintendent of Police.
Mr. Asadorian, how do you respond to this complaint?
As far as I can understand, this is something that happened down the street from us, not within our establishment. We really have no, I believe we have no knowledge whatsoever of this incident. I was not aware, other than a police officer did come at the end of the night, and he said he was angry with us. And I said, I had first approached him and said, great job, it was Folk Festival weekend. I said, we did a great job. He goes, what are you talking about? You did a great job. And I was like, well, absolutely no problems here. We managed a large crowd. And he's like, you didn't manage nothing. There was a fight right down the street over there from people that came from your place. And I said, I was not aware of that. And he said, well, we're going to cite him. I bet he was drinking at your place. And I said, I apologize, sir. Anything that I can do to make this better. He stated that he wanted, in addition to our premises, this is at that time, in addition to our premises, to be cleared that he wanted several feet along the street areas, the road, and beyond to be cleared. And I said, we will absolutely do that. He walked away, and I didn't get any more information about this until
Now, who did
we're
you
looking
speak
at
to
it right
concerning
now.
this?
I believe, I don't have the officer, I believe it was a gentleman that looked like this officer, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure who the officer was.
You didn't get a name?
I didn't get any information from him, and he literally just walked away. Whatever had happened had already happened, and the streets at that point were already cleared, and he left. So I don't have any additional information on this.
Your story is that this did not happen near your establishment. Is that what you're saying?
It was approximately about 100, I want to be very accurate. I'd say...
Which way? Near Dunkin' Donuts or the other way?
Towards town. I didn't see it actually happen, but he pointed in that direction. I didn't see the incident happen.
Okay.
So it would be difficult for me to say that what exactly it was.
Okay,
But
Detective
he did
Leganis?
point down the street, and I said, where? And he pointed somewhere maybe 50 feet closer than El Potro's, so, which is
Okay.
towards Town Hall, so.
Detective Leganis? State your name for the record, sir.
My name is Nick Leganis.
How are you tonight, Detective?
Sir, good, thank
Good.
you.
Tell me where this fight broke out.
Approximately 20 feet to the right if you're looking at the Mill City Ballroom.
20 feet?
Approximately, yes.
Okay. Tell us what happened.
So during the folk festival, it was very busy, approximately hundreds of people in and out. Our objective is to monitor gang activity throughout downtown at that time. Our focus was drawn towards the Mill City Ballroom. Multiple parties known to us inside and out, which prompted us to stay on the other side of the street to monitor the closing. During this time, during closing, everyone was exiting. A scuffle broke out. I don't know how it started. There was a lot of people towards the center of Mill City Ballroom. They ended up pushing out to the right. If you're looking at the Mill City, pushed out to the right, going towards City Hall. And that's when we activated ourselves to the right. A large group of people, approximately 20 to 30 people, were fighting at that time, and we attempted to break it up.
Were any of the people that were involved in this fight part of this Asian gang?
They were not. They had left just before that.
Yeah. How did you know that they were in the club?
Yes, sir. Myself, Sergeant Lombard, and Detective Photomath conducted a walkthrough earlier in the night, approximately an hour maybe earlier than that. We went upstairs. We did a full lap around. Parties known to me as confirmed self-admitted Asian boy members were in the VIP lounge. I spoke to the head of the Asian boys by the railing. I expected no trouble from him. He agreed. Approximately maybe an hour after that, they did exit. They all left. They went to the opposite side towards Central Street.
Knowing that you knew that the Asian gang was here, was that communicated to Mr. Azadorian and his security staff?
I did not speak to them, no.
Okay. Do you know how this fight started? I mean, did anybody see somebody come out of the club? I mean, Mr. Azadorian saying this fight happened 100 feet. You're saying it happened 20 feet. Did they come out and
no,
the fight started out of the club, or?
Well, sir, there was a fight approximately 100 feet towards Central Street just before that. I'm not sure if that's maybe what he's referring to. And then just after that, there was a group towards the middle of the club, the bar, that pushed out to the right. Seemed that it was a group of females fighting. Unknown to me.
So this happened outside their corridored space out there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Other questions and comment from the board? It's your, you feel that this happened from patrons that came outside of the bar?
Yes, sir. I'm speaking to Mr. Marquez afterwards. I don't know exactly when he told me, but he said he did come from the Mill City Ballroom. I don't know if my report reflects that, but he did tell me that.
Your report reflects that you feel that he was quite inebriated.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anyone else? No? Mr. Azadorian?
I'd just like to clarify, the Mill City Ballroom only has literally 10 feet of frontage on Merrimack Street. Then there's a 60-foot area that is the pub, that is a completely separate entity, run completely separately. And then I believe what he's talking about is, perhaps 20, 30, we could have been anywhere between 20 and 50 feet past the fenced area that we have as well, correct? Because Mill City Pub has a outside seating area. It would be past the outside seating area, which is literally at least 75 feet. There's almost 50 feet in between that and then where we go from.
Okay.
No, I'd say to be honest, about 20 feet from the gated area, 20 to maybe 30 feet, like I said initially.
From me to you?
Approximately. If you're looking at it to the right side.
Mr. Azadorian, you or your staff know who Mr. Marquez is? Has he frequented your place?
No, we don't know him.
Don't know?
The Folk Fest was, there was a lot of people. We ended up closing our doors somewhere around 12:30 with literally, we were dispersing the line, telling nobody would be able to be even getting in after 12:30. We were telling anyone with hats they couldn't come in that night. We were making up reasons why, get out of the line, you're not going to get in this evening.
I mean, it seems like Detective Leganis was put in a pretty precarious situation, almost to the point of getting beat up pretty bad by a bunch of unruly people. I guess my question to you is, why wasn't this even reported to Secretary Wynn within the next 24 hours of the incident?
Because we have no knowledge, we had absolutely...
That scares me too. I was ready for that answer. Security is outside, and we have a large group of people 20 to 30 feet from your establishment. I mean, you're supposed to call that in.
Since that, well, it wasn't from that establishment. It was quite a ways past. Even there's a 60-foot span before we even get to the end of that fenced area, and we're talking about 20 feet afterwards. I had already gone upstairs.
Yeah, but you just said it's 10 feet, so it's 10 feet plus 20 feet. That's 30 feet. That's from me to the wall.
No, what I'm saying is, Mill City Ballroom only has 10 feet of frontage on the road. From where he's talking about that it happened past the fenced area,
Yep.
the fenced area is a 60-foot span of outside seating. Then he's saying, in addition to that, there was additional, an additional 20 feet is what you're saying. And I can't say if it was or if it wasn't, because I only had somebody pointing in that direction. I think we can both say it was at the very end of the night, and we were already packing up to come in. I was literally at that point, when I talked to the officer, I was literally at that point picking up trash outside.
Detective, fair enough, 1:31 in the morning?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Was still a lot of people from the folk festival? I mean,
Yes, sir. There was an extremely large crowd in front and all around.
so when Mr. Marquez started this fight, it seemed like a lot of people knew him, right? Could there have been a chance that they were from the folk festival and not, in fact, from Mill City Ballroom or Mill City Pub?
It's possible, yes. You mean Mr. Marquez himself or the people that were around him and
It
following
seems
him?
like they knew Mr. Marquez because they were trying to grab at your shirt and trying to take you off of him and...
Yes, it was a very large crowd to the point where we had to escort him by foot afterwards.
Yeah.
It's closed off because it's the Folk Festival, so as we escorted him out, multiple people were following us as well. So I don't know, I can't say if they came from that establishment as well, but Mr. Marquez said he did.
We don't have any testimony from Mr. Marquez at all? Legal counsel?
We do have Sergeant Lombard, though, who is also available to testify.
Sergeant Lombard? State your name for the record, sir.
Thomas Lombard.
What did Mr. Marquez say to you, Mr. Sergeant?
I really didn't have that much of a conversation with him because I had just tased him. He was pretty taken aback by the whole situation. So,
Detective Leganis is saying that he said he was at Mill City Ballroom.
right, but I didn't have that conversation with him.
this.
I
Can
was
you-
more
can you-
concerned, he might have had it, but my concern at that time was the safety of myself and the other officers.
Sure.
Because we were surrounded, and it was getting very, very hairy. And the other officers that I had called for had not arrived yet.
Right.
So he might have had a conversation with him, but when I actually went up to him, there was still an active volatile fight going on.
Between Detective and Mr. Marquez?
And several other people, when I finally got to him, yes, several people
Were these people associated with Mr. Marquez at all?
well, it seemed like they were family members.
Right,
Or friends, because they were quite upset that he was going to be arrested. So,
Sure.
they were trying to pull him off, and I had to rip people off him so that he could continue to try and place Mr. Marquez in custody.
Your professional opinion, Mr. Marquez inebriated?
Oh, I think so, yes.
The board have any questions for Sergeant
Do you
Lombard?
feel these people came out of the,
We were standing outside there for almost an hour, and this gentleman says I had a conversation with him. I might have had a conversation, I don't recall. But there was probably a few minutes before this, there were uniform officers there. They were called to a fight around the corner, so that might have been what was going on when the uniform officers moved over there. We stayed where we were for a while. The crowd was still out there milling around, and I told these guys just to pay attention to what was going on because it seemed like something might be happening. And sure enough, probably within seconds of that, just exploded.
Is it your opinion that they came out of the ballroom?
Oh, it would be my opinion, yes. Can I say specifically? Yes, I would say the crowd just came right out of there.
This makes me think about the Crown case. I'm just scared about this in the word hearsay, and we don't definitively know that Mr. Marquez or his group actually came out of there, especially with the folk festival. Do I think they did? I think everybody on this board thinks they did, most likely, but we're not 100% sure. And I really don't want to go down that road of having this appealed by the ABC, but I'd like to hear Elliot's view upon that.
The deputy superintendent wishes to make a comment
Sure.
first.
Deputy Superintendent Friedel?
I certainly understand what you're saying, but just for clarity,
Sure.
the formal folk festival events had long concluded when this occurs.
Okay.
If anybody still in the downtown that's coming from an establishment is just that, they're coming from an establishment. Folk festival activities were over by 11 p.m., so this was much later than that. So I just want to clarify that this, when we talk about folk festival versus private establishments that were holding events that evening, these individuals definitely came from an event, not from the folk festival.
How many people, maybe Detective Leganis can answer this, how many people, did it seem like a group of 50 that came, not all at once, but, because I'm working again with what their last call is here, and I'm looking at a report that says 1:30, so now things are starting to jive a little bit here that, okay, last call was served, they're done their beer or whatever, and they're coming out. Did they come out 5 at a time, 10 at a time? Was there 50 people there? Where, you know what I mean? Where, you know, if it's just like the deputy superintendent says, I mean, folk festival is pretty much done. If you're there, you're in a pub or the restaurants are closed pretty much, just done serving. So it's, people are drinking. So in your estimation, was there a group that came at you? Or, I mean, obviously Mr. Marquez stood out, but maybe you can.
During the fight, sir?
Yeah.
Yes, during that altercation.
Right to the lectern.
I'm sorry. During that altercation, I was able to locate the source, the main aggressor, which was another female holding another female by the hair. I was able to take her out, and at that time, everyone was in front of me. And I'd say that there was probably about, like I said, 20 to 30 people. I was able to pull that female away, who was unidentified. When Mr. Marquez came from behind me, I was forced to let that female go. Once myself and Mr. Marquez began to struggle, I could see approximately the same group, maybe more, because they started to gravitate towards the fight. But once we were on the ground, I lost track. All I could just feel is people. So.
Yeah. Commissioner Krieger?
Mr. Rassadorian, was the first floor pub open at this time, or what time did it close?
We closed early. We closed at 1:30 completely, and had already been clearing out.
The downstairs.
Yep.
The hamburger joint.
Yep.
I think of it. What time did it close?
We pulled last call at 1:20 that night. Normally, we do let last call go to 1:30 downstairs. And we, actually, it was a couple minutes before 1:20, and then we started escorting people out at 1:25. We had the downstairs cleaned out by 1:40 in anticipation of the fact that there were so many people outside before we closed. Dudley's right down the street, the last safe, they all had lines of people not being allowed in. We had at least 150 people that wanted to come in that we were not letting in. We literally
Did you have something going on upstairs that same time?
Nothing special, no.
So, safe to say that you kind of called an early last call of 1:15, 1:20,
Yeah.
And this incident happened at 1:31.
I can't say if the incident happened at 1:30 or 1:31. There were hundreds of people outside.
It did, that's what I have here.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, one of the problems we have to wrestle with is how far does the manager's responsibility go?
Right.
And we don't want to make it too big, we don't want to make it too small. But yeah, I'd like to hear from Mr. Veloso too.
If I may, I believe that, as he has testified, they did close at 1:30, and it was at 1:30 that a surge in the crowd appeared right in front of Mill City Ballroom as the officers testified. I'd certainly say it would be a reasonable inference to say that, given the testimony we've heard, last call was around 1:15, 1:20, area was closed at 1:30. The fight breaks out immediately at 1:30, 1:31, as the detectives testified, right outside of Mill City Ballroom, which then migrated out approximately 20 to 30 feet.
That's what I think Commissioner Krieger's question here is, where's the line?
Well, I would say that Rule 1.16 does say that you have to maintain order and decorum both on the licensed premises and in the immediate surrounding area adjacent to your premises. That adjacent premises, I would contend, includes both the immediate outside sidewalk, and as the detectives have testified, this fight broke out immediately outside of Mill City Ballroom in that proximate area. So I would submit that, based on Rule 1.16, order and decorum should be maintained. And I think it should be important to note, too, that given the large crowd that was there, given that it was the Lowell Folk Festival, any reasonable establishment would take precautions when having their patrons exit, particularly if it's a large crowd, to ensure that they're not unruly, to ensure that there are no fights, to make sure that order is maintained so that people can safely exit the premises. Based on what we have heard here in the testimony, that did not occur. There were no security guards, to our knowledge, that were outside the door. The officers didn't see any. None provided assistance to ensure a safe and orderly dispersal of the patrons from the establishment. And a fight breaks out apparently immediately in front of the premises, escalating out, which resulted in 3 officers being jeopardized and a taser having to be dispersed in order to subdue the person. I would say that given all of these circumstances, given the timing of when this crowd formed, given the location where the fight broke out initially, the License Commission can certainly make reasonable inferences as to what has occurred and find that order wasn't maintained. I think additionally also, I believe the chairman is correct in pointing out that no notification was provided to the License Commission or the police department. And given that, as the detectives has testified, this fight broke out immediately in front of the premises, you would think that one employee would have at least noticed it and informed the License Commission. The License Commission and the police department have been informed by other establishments of fights breaking out or incidents occurring. And they have made reports to the police department and the License Commission without incident or without problem. So I don't see what prevents Mill City Ballroom from doing what so many other establishments in this city have done.
Can I?
Commissioner Howe.
I'd like to reiterate, it's definitely a violation of 1.16. We have the officer testifying that Mr. Marquez said he was drinking at Mill City Ballroom. We all know that's hearsay, and we know we can't prove that Mill City actually sold or delivered the alcohol. However, they have to have order and decorum in and around the area, the immediate area. I consider 20 feet in the immediate area of Mill City, and I definitely think it's a violation of 1.16.
Commissioner Krieger?
Yeah, I think that the 20-foot thing raises another question, and that is, does the pub for which Mr. Asadorian is responsible, does that constitute part of the area for Mill City Ballroom? Because if it does, then 20 feet, yeah, pretty close. If it doesn't, then we're talking 80 feet away. So there's a difference. It's a jurisdictional issue, I think, where Mr. Asadorian's running 2 operations side by side.
Well, if I may point out, Commissioner Krieger, based on the testimony that has been provided, the fight broke out essentially immediately outside of the establishment and then migrated out 20 or 30 feet away. So I would contend that given what Rule 1.16 states, it's not just the establishment, it's also the surrounding area adjacent to the licensed premises, which would include the sidewalk. And based on the testimony that is provided, that's where the fight broke out and that's where it migrated out. So based on the testimony that has been given, I'd still strongly contend that 1.16 was violated, given with the testimony we've heard.
And we know that Mr. Marquez was the boyfriend of the lady who was involved in the fight. Detective Leganis? Detective? Yes, sir. Mr. Marquez, was he the boyfriend of the girl that was involved in the fight?
Initially, he told me that that was his friend's girlfriend. And then afterwards, he ended up telling me that it was his cousin, and I think at some point he told me that it was his sister. So the story kept changing of who that relation was to him, but he was familiar with her, yes.
Can I add something?
Sergeant, sure.
Okay. If you'll notice in my report, it will say that I was actually trying to break up another fight. I was closer than what Officer Leganis was to the establishment. The fight I was dealing with was probably 10 feet closer, maybe 5 feet closer, somewhere in there, closer to the establishment. So I was dealing with one set. He was over here dealing with his own. And I left that when I saw him being attacked, so.
And who was involved in that? What was,
You know what, I mean, that was
just-
chaotic. It was there was an active fight going on, but, that wasn't my concern. My concern was to make sure they were safe.
Mr. Azadorian states that there were quite a few people on the sidewalk at that time. Did both of you feel that there was, or did that happen when people were coming out of the Mill City pub?
I'm sorry, I missed the question.
Mr. Azadorian states that there were already a lot of people on the sidewalk at that time.
There were people milling around, yes.
At 1:30.
Probably before then, yes. He is correct when saying there were people outside milling around.
What were they doing? I mean, the folk festival's done at 11 o'clock, and that's 2.5 hours later.
Yes, sir. At that point, multiple bars were getting out. So this was the main point of the cross paths between John Street, where the garage is, and where they may have parked. So between Dudley's, the Old Court, Mill City Ballroom, there was a significant amount of people throughout the streets.
Yeah, I get you. Mr. Azadorian, final statement?
Yeah, I would just like to point out that where he's describing that this happened is directly at the crosswalk to get across to John Street, to get to the John Street, parking garage. And what generally happens is all the people coming out of the bar east to us come down that street at the end of the night. All the bars that come from the west of us also come down that street, and they all converge, I would say it's pretty fair, to hit the John Street, where the John Street area is, to go across to the John Street area over there. And that's why we've been informed that we need to, and I think this is fair, and I think everyone, any of the police officers that are done, we need to clear, is what we've been told, anything in front of Mill City Pub, right? Because that's what they want, and the manager of record who's responsible for that downstairs, it would be responsible for that as well. And everything, we call it the gray. So the ownership of that building from end to end, and all the way to actually the yellow line in front of the middle of the street, the police officers have asked us to clear and said that we can't, now our insurance company has said we do not have jurisdiction one step past our overhang, which is literally 1 foot. However, we have complied with them, especially You know, I saw how upset you were, and it upset me that you were that upset, and I never want to see anyone get hurt. I don't know if those guys came from there, but there were so many people on the street that night. I really feel for you guys. So I understood why you were like, give us some help. And the next day, we literally, I don't know if you can attest to it, the next day, we literally cleaned every inch that you guys asked, and it was before 2 o'clock that the streets were actually cleared, not just our establishment upstairs. And we've hired several, we really have hired several security just to come out and help make sure that everyone leaves.
Understanding there was no function upstairs at the ballroom, well, how many security did you have downstairs at the pub?
At the pub?
Yeah.
I had 4 that night.
2 inside, 2 outside?
It's 1 outside, usually 1 outside, 1 patrolling. That's a different night.
That one security staff didn't mention to you that something was going on 30 feet from your
They had
establishment?
already gone in. They literally, security is responsible for picking up cups, making sure there's no glassware downstairs. There's never any glassware upstairs. It's not allowed. But downstairs, they're responsible to make sure that everything's cleaned up in general for the cleaners to come in the next day. So literally, they tell us, we do get, sometimes the police officers say, go inside, don't be part of the problem. Sometimes, but more recently, we've come to a much better cohesion with the Lowell police, that they want us to come outside and make sure that everyone not only leaves our place, but leaves the street afterwards. And we really have stepped it up in that department, and that was as a response to actually how upset he was that day. And I said, well, what do we need to do to make it so that we're not in a situation where you're upset with us? And, you know, the next day we had a small talk. I don't know if you recall, but he said he wants it out to the yellow lines in the middle of the street. And that's what we've been doing now, but also from gray to gray, which is the ownership of that building, basically, in its entirety, including the bar downstairs.
Mr. Chairman, I think I would just note briefly as a final matter that based on his testimony, he's just indicated that the security officer who was outside was inside by the time these fights broke out. And I think I would just make a note that when a crowd is dispersing, when your patrons are dispersing from establishment, that is precisely the time when security should be out ensuring orderly patrons and making sure that the establishment is being exited in an orderly fashion. And yet, by Mr. Azadorian's own testimony, the security guards were inside the premises at the time, and thus no one saw these fights break out in the close proximity of their premises. I think it speaks again to the lack of management and the lack of security and safety at this establishment. And I say that a reasonable inference can be made that Rule 1.16 has been violated based on this testimony that you've just heard.
Keep on reading. Immediately surrounding area adjacent to the licensed premises. And it just seems so gray to me. I don't know. Do I think there's a responsibility there? I do. Is it 20 feet, 30 feet, 40 feet, 50 feet, 60 feet? I don't know. I really don't. I understand the premise of 1.16, but I mean, in my heart, I think everybody came out of Mill City Pub, but I'm not 100% sure. Though I do feel as though, are we being responsible? That's the key word to me, responsible, that if that security person's outside that front door, that whole area that's enclosed, that all the people should be gone from there and dispersed up to that point in front of the place. Did that happen? I don't know if that happened. Were the people still there and security shut the door and went inside and had a beer? I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know what happened there. But Detective Leganis is saying this happened 20 feet outside. Well, it was basically a cat fight to start out with because you had the girl you were trying to restrain. Then Mr. Marquez, probably 10 to 20 feet down the street, decided to give you a go.
Mr. Chairman, if I
Yes.
may, one point.
Yes?
Mill City Suds on the first floor
Yep.
has a licensing agreement with the city for sidewalk seating for a restaurant?
For a restaurant.
For the restaurant, that's the licensee on the first floor for the sidewalk area in front of Mill City Suds. I'm not sure, I can't tell you right now the extent, the width of the sidewalk area that would be part of the restaurant's sidewalk seating area.
Well, I'm even reading the complaint. The complaint is against the Mill City Ballroom where nothing was going on that night. There was no event. There was no function. It was Mill City Suds, wasn't it?
They were both open.
I asked you if there was a function upstairs, and you said no.
No, there wasn't a function upstairs, it was a regular.
Just a regular night?
Yeah, it was just a
Oh, so
regular
both establishments were open?
Yes.
Okay, were both last calls at the same time, 1:15, 1:20?
No, downstairs was sooner.
What time?
We did 1:15 downstairs and 1:20 upstairs. The whole deal was.
See, that's
and
what makes me.
And I'm approximating that time. Downstairs was sooner. I didn't write a log as to the exact time, but downstairs was approximately 10 minutes sooner than we stopped upstairs because I wanted to offset
Yep,
anything that was happening. So I wanted downstairs to be cleaned,
yep.
done, because and I didn't want both of them coming out at the same time. So,
And I can appreciate that. The problem is, the times that you're talking about coincide with this 131 incident. That's what scares me
well,
here.
if we tell people to leave at 1:30, they just start coming out
Yep.
of the establishment. And that night was a very heavy night. We were pushing 400 people that evening.
Right.
That wouldn't have been, people leaving at 1:25, 400 people do not come out of that bar immediately. It takes time. And we were even pushing 10 of 2, getting the last stragglers out that evening.
Your last call's at 1:10, and you'll let them stay till 2 o'clock, right?
No, the
You're not
last call's
serving-
1:15.
Well, you're serving your last beer at 1:15, but you'll let them drink it until your license is.
I'm going to let them drink it, right, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't want to push them out with it in their hand either, And also, we have a policy that at the end of the night, we play much more relaxing music for the last two to 3 songs of the evening, and that helps a lot with the crowd. And, they realize that it's time to go, and sometimes we'll maybe play it's closing time or something along those lines that it's a little bit more on the jolly side of things. It does legitimately. Listen, I've made a lot of mistakes, but I've learned a lot too. And I do understand this. This is literally a question of, we were closing out, no knowledge of this happening, because it was off to the side. I have, in response to this, done so much more. Like even right now, we go farther than the gray, as we all call it, we go farther than the gray. But I need to put out there that we were cited not long ago, all right, about 8 months ago, for a security guard who pushed a patron too far away from our building. And it was said at that date that we do not have jurisdiction with anything past our front door. So I would just like to say that every time we do assist out there, we're putting ourselves at risk. We literally we got suspended for 2 days for a security guard, the same officer, that one of our security guards, he was trying to get in for about 20 minutes throughout the night. He ended up boxing him off, pushing him down the street. You guys said, you guys don't have jurisdiction down there. He shouldn't have been traveling down the road. And that was what we used as a basis until literally he got so upset, and I said, geez, we have to take, even if we're not in the wrong, we still got to do the right thing. And that's why we've taken the new stance that we're going to clear much farther.
You had no security outside when this event took place.
I don't know when the event exactly took place. So it would be impossible for me to say that. We didn't see the event, and I don't know if he can remember or not remember, but I was very surprised when I talked to him. I was going there for kudos, like, wow, that was a huge crowd, big day, we don't want any problems. And he said, well, you had a problem over there. And I was like, oh, God.
Two things. One, I don't recall having a conversation with this gentleman. He says I do. Maybe I did. I don't recall. I don't recall being extremely upset and angry and telling him he has to go out to the yellow line. I have no knowledge of that. That's number one. Number two is, no security guard came to our aid at all. The only people that came to our aid were ourselves and then the officers that I had called. That's it.
Deputy Superintendent?
If I may, I think it's important to understand the climate of what else was going on that evening. I mean, historically, it's quite a challenge for us. It's the, folk festival weekend. It's post-formal activities of the event itself. But there's, as you know, many establishments not only hold their normal capacity, but they increase their capacity with the outdoor seating. So it was good weather. This was not the only act in town that night. So I'm sure that these officers can tell you just the volume of activity, the skirmishes that were perhaps occurring, or as you heard, there was another fight around the corner. It would seem to me that if I've got people hanging outside my establishment waiting to come in, because as we've heard, there were lines of people waiting to get into the establishments, that there should have been security on the sidewalk. There should have been extra staff brought on board to accommodate the 400-plus people that were inside the establishment and the people milling about waiting to try to get in. We're just talking about one, or actually two, establishments in one building, one spot that night. We're not talking about Dudley's across the street or around the corner, the old court. There was a lot of activity. We have a finite amount of officers down there, and a fight broke out, and there was great concern for their well-being and their safety. And as you've just heard, no one came from the establishment because apparently they were picking up glassware inside, cleaning up. That's what we've heard. So there was a situation. I agree. We can't, the officers cannot say they watched the person walk out from the door before the fight erupted, but there was a general sense of chaos on that sidewalk that they were responding to. And I don't think we've heard that there was enough staff or procedures in place to run a tight ship that night. Thank you.
Thank you. Further comments from the board? Questions? Commissioner Krieger.
Yeah, we've got two more items that we have to review. It's my understanding that if we put this on file, we can call it back forward. Is that correct, Mr. Nguyen?
Pardon me?
If we put it on file, we can call it back.
I do not know that. Maybe attorney could.
Well, since we put things on file, I think we should know what that means.
Well, to put it on file means is that you put it into the record, but you're taking no action on it. I would submit that you can't just simply put something on file and then reopen it. There has to be a finite conclusion to a matter. And if that conclusion is to put it on file, then that is the conclusion. But you can't simply put something on hold and then go back to it at a later date. There has to be some sort of finite resolution to a matter.
Commissioner Krieger, you could continue this hearing to the next scheduled meeting.
I don't think that would add anything. So based upon our new understanding of putting something on file, I believe that what we should do is we should, acknowledging the fact that we're concerned about the seriousness of this, that we should suspend the license for 2 days, held in abeyance for 1 year.
Seconded by Commissioner Howe. Any further discussion?
What was that motion again, please?
Motion was 2 days suspended, both days held in abeyance for 1 year. Seconded by Commissioner Howe. No further discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Commissioner McCarthy? No. No. Commissioner Donahue? No. 3 yeas, 2 noes, motion passes.
Commission will now proceed with the third complaint filed by William M. Taylor, the Superintendent of Police, against the licensee known as Mill City Ballroom, Inc., doing business as Mill City Ballroom, Joel Asadorian, manager, all alcoholic beverage restaurant licensee, 74 Merrimack Street, as set out in the superintendent's communication to the License Commission, which is dated August the 10th, 2016. Then this would be an incident occurred June 26, 2016.
State your name for the record.
Joel Asadorian.
Mr. Asadorian, would you like the complaint read into the record?
Yes.
Deputy Superintendent Friedel, please.
The letter begins, "Dear Sir, the Lowell Police Department respectfully requests that enforcement action be taken against the above licensee." Oh, I'm sorry. I'm reading the wrong one. Excuse me. Okay. Dear Sir, the Lowell Police Department respectfully requests that enforcement action be taken against the above licensee for violations which took place on June 26, 2016 specifically. Failure to maintain order and decorum in the licensed premises and in the immediately surrounding area adjacent to the licensed premises in violation of Section 1.16 of the regulations of the Lowell License Commission. Failure to immediately notify the Lowell Police Department of any violation of law, disorder, or disturbance in violation of Section 1.20 of the regulations of the Lowell License Commission. Violation of 204 CMR 2.05, Section 2, no licensee for the sale of alcoholic beverages shall permit any disorder, disturbance, or illegality of any kind to take place in or on the licensed premises. The licensee shall be responsible therefore, whether present or not. On Sunday, June 26, 2016, at approximately 1:50 a.m., Officer John Spinney was on duty at John and Merrimack Streets. Officer Spinney was approached by several patrons who were leaving the Mill City Ballroom and was told that a large fight involving 20 to 30 people was taking place inside of the upper floor. Officer Spinney called for additional assistance and entered the building. He found several disturbances taking place throughout the club and noted that several of the participants were highly intoxicated. Officer Spinney also noted that an unknown person had discharged OC spray inside of the club. An employee of the club stated that they needed help, and officers began to clear the premises. The officers encountered one agitated, hostile, and intoxicated male, later identified as Edwin Burgos, 28. Mr. Burgos refused to obey officers' instructions to leave and repeatedly threatened the officers and challenged them to fight. Once outside, Mr. Burgos continued his disruptive and threatening behavior to the alarm of other exiting patrons and passers-by. Mr. Burgos was subdued and taken into custody. Upon arrival at the police station for booking, it was noted that Mr. Burgos appeared intoxicated and had slurred speech. Sergeant Christopher Panagiotakis was the supervisor in charge at the scene of this disturbance. Upon his arrival, Sergeant Panagiotakis observed a crowd of approximately 200 people outside. The sergeant made note of the unruly and combative nature of the remaining crowd inside the club and also made note of the discharged OC spray and a large amount of blood on the dance floor. Sergeant Panagiotakis instructed officers to search for any injured persons, but none were found. He also spoke with the manager, Joel Asadorian, about the dangerous situation in the club. Mr. Asadorian was asked if anyone on his staff had called the police about the disturbance, and he stated that they did. However, no notification of this incident was received by the Lowell Police Department from the Mill City Ballroom. Kindly schedule a hearing on this matter at your earliest convenience. Very truly yours, William M. Taylor, Superintendent of Police.
Thank you. Mr. Asadorian? Your response?
That evening, somebody came from a competitor's, a local competitor's establishment. They wanted to come by. They came with about 10 or 12. They had identified themselves as promoters. I'm not looking to put somebody else under, so I'm not going to state the name of that unless required to. The girl who said that she was the manager of the place came in and said, you know, can I get some seating for these guys, you know, take care of them. We did that. Throughout the evening, they were slightly unruly, but not get kicked out unruly. We closed the establishment. It was time for everybody to leave. We told them they were still lingering around. Very few people were left upstairs at that point. There were still 3 security guards upstairs, I believe. It was 3 or 4. At that time, we had not put in the, this is prior to the Folk Fest event. At that time, we had not put in the provisions for everyone leave to make sure that the street is cleared for the officers downstairs. So there was a few more people upstairs. I was downstairs as well during this happening. They wouldn't leave. So security went up to them, told them they had to leave. They asked, they said they didn't want to. They were going to finish their drinks. This was getting quite late. And again, it's very difficult with time, but I want to try to be as accurate as I can. I was rolling somewhere around the 140, 142, 143 mark where we start getting nervous that people have not dispersed. They came up, they were being unruly. The guy said, you gotta go, you gotta go. One of my security guards went to grab their drink to pull it out of their hand and was struck from behind. It was about a group of 10. They ended up getting into an altercation very quick where he was supported by additional security. One of the security guards said, go get the police. A chef that we used for downstairs happened to be in the establishment. We look at him as part of, somebody that we care about there. And he ran outside to go get the police. The police came up. At that time, everyone was yelling, the police are coming up here, let's get out of here, let's get out of here. And they all ran out. Except for maybe a couple lingerers, which happened to be the gentleman I believe that she's talking about. He was extremely loud, still didn't want to leave. But when the police officers did get up there, he started walking in the right direction. Made his way down, very loud, yelling the entire time, undoubtedly being very disrespectful to the police officers. Walked down to the stairs. Finally, he was outside. We were all escorting him, as well as the police officers downstairs. Got to the sidewalk. He said, you guys can't do nothing. This is a public place. You can't make me leave. He was still yelling at the officers. The officers ended up arresting him, and that was the end of the story. When we went upstairs, there was a stingy, it was like a burning substance in the air. We don't know exactly what it was, but that's the long and the short of the story. Basically, someone came in. I think they were there to cause trouble, honestly. There is follow-up, actually, to this story. So obviously, all these gentlemen were put on a ban list. They're not allowed in the place, as well as several of their associates that aren't, which, by the way, we have about 150 people on a ban list that aren't allowed to come into the establishment that we've put together.
150?
Almost 150 people, yeah. Almost 150 of just people that are just not allowed in, period. Because we're working our way through all the troublemakers. And that's, I believe what we are is close.
Do you let your security personnel possess OC spray?
No, absolutely not.
None of them sprayed that?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. They're not allowed to have any weapons whatsoever. They have flashlights, though, for the end of the night.
Officer Spinney.
Good evening, sir.
State your name for the record, sir.
My name is John Spinney.
Officer Spinney, kind of give us a recap.
Yes, sir. I was conducting a directed patrol ordered by the Alpha Sector Patrol Supervisor, Sergeant Pangiotakis, at the intersection of Merrimack and John Street. As an agency, we typically do that to deter crimes of disorder during the times when the bars are getting out, with the visible presence of a police cruiser there. Hopefully it works. Sometimes it does, sometimes it don't. I was standing outside my cruiser. I was approached by some patrons that I observed coming out of Mill City Ballroom who were wiping their face and coughing and saying, "You got to get in there. There's a huge fight." So I ended up crossing Merrimack Street towards the establishment. I witnessed more people coming out, coughing, wiping their face. I was actually approached by one individual that said there's about 20 or 30 people fighting up there. You got to get up there. They need help. So at this point, I got on the radio. I requested additional units before I went in because I was by myself. Several units arrived on scene, including the Alpha Sector Patrol Supervisor. We made entry into the establishment. There's a large staircase that goes upstairs. We ascended the staircase. Right as I got to the upper landing, I immediately got a blast of what I would refer to as a chemical personal protection spray in my face and on my skin.
Have you smelled it before, that same?
I've been sprayed several times in the military, sir, at the police academy, and unfortunately several times on the job. So I recognized that as OC spray.
Yep.
And I knew it wasn't one of us that deployed it because none of us had been in there yet. I was the first officer on scene. As I went into the upper end of the building, I noticed that there was several people in there fighting, yelling. It was a very chaotic scene. The OC spray was having its effect on people. A lot of people were coughing, crying. It was very chaotic, as I stated. I noticed probably 10 people over by the DJ booth area who seemed to be what I would refer to as the primary aggressors or people that were just not listening to our commands to disperse. With the assistance of the sergeant and the other units, we were able to get them to finally move along towards the staircase. And there was the other individual who the deputy noted that was taken into custody downstairs. I encountered him, pled with him several times to move along, tried to escort him down the stairs. He gave us grief the whole way. As Mr. Azadorian said, he was very disrespectful to all officers involved. It actually took myself and Officer Houston pretty much using physical force to grab him and escort him down the staircase, where the altercation noted in the report ensued on the sidewalk, and he was placed under arrest.
Okay. Board members have anything further for Officer Spinney? Thank you, officer.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so. Who's- Sergeant Panagiatakis. State your name for the record, sir.
Christopher Panagiatakis.
Sergeant, anything else to add to this?
Once we got up, my observations were pretty much the same as Officer Spinney's. Upon entering the club, being hit with the chemical agent, noticing right away that it was OC spray, going upstairs, seeing a lot of people fighting. Officer Spinney and several other officers went to escort the people that were up there out. I started walking through the club, and that's when I saw a big pool of blood on the dance floor. I brought it to the attention of one of the staff. I don't recognize who it was here, and I asked him where this came from. I identified it immediately as blood, and obviously from a serious injury, it was a good amount of blood, not just a few drops. They couldn't tell me what happened. I ordered more officers to go outside to check everybody in the crowd for any type of an injury, to alert the emergency rooms, to let us know if anybody comes in with any serious lacerations or anything. I then talked to Mr. Azadorian outside, and I asked him about whether or not they called the police regarding this incident. He told me that they had. I later checked with dispatch, and they informed me that they received no call from Mill City, that the only notification we had of this incident was from patrons telling Officer Spinney.
Mr. Azadorian, do you know who made that call to the dispatch?
I don't believe an actual call was made. They posted directly outside, and somebody was sent outside to get them. So it wasn't an actual call. It was somebody was sent to actually, they're outside all the time, so we sent them to go get them.
By chance, was a incident report sent to Secretary Wynn
Yes.
concerning this? Secretary Wynn, did you receive a incident report concerning this?
I don't recall, I know there was one report, but I'm not sure it's specific to this incident. Was it?
Yes.
It was?
Yeah.
It could be, yeah. I don't have it with me at the point.
Board members, any questions for Sergeant Panagiotakis?
Sergeant, how many officers are involved, would you say, estimate?
I'd say about 10.
And how many units were sent down?
We had a downtown patrol unit, which consists of 4 officers. And we had Officer Spinney out there, and then 5 other units were taken from the rest of the city to...
So that was lack of coverage throughout the city then?
Oh,
because-
very much so, yeah.
Thank you.
Mr. Azadorian, I see your head of security's here. Were you working that night, sir? Okay, so can you tell us what happened and how many security were up there and how did this get out of hand so quickly?
Basically, we had probably about eight security on that night. And
Your head of security, you tell me.
About 8 security that night. It varies depending on the event, so that's why I was checking for clarification. So basically what happened was we had, as Mr. Asadorian said, we had outside people that came in, we seated them. They actually had a table on the floor.
Yeah.
They weren't, like he said, they weren't really unruly, but they were kind of standing up on like the railings of the seats. So we had to tell them repeatedly, to get down, just to be respectful to the place and, the other patrons.
Yep.
So at the end of the night, when we were telling them to leave, they didn't want to leave. So, and I was the one that was actually directly telling them to leave.
All right, so you're there and a couple of guys behind you?
I'm there, I'm like in the middle of like 10 to 15 guys, to be honest with you. Because
I'm talking security, so there's 10, 15 guys.
Oh, no.
So it's just you?
I have 8 guys on staff in the whole building, 2 downstairs,
Yeah.
1 in the stairs,
Yeah.
and then I believe 5 or 6 upstairs.
All right, so there's 5 or 6 plus you,
Well, 5 or 6 including me.
okay, that are addressing 10 to 15 guys.
Well, no. It was at the time we were all, because what we do at the end of the night is I have a system where I have in place where we all take a section of the club
Yep.
to try to move people along in an orderly fashion. So at that point in time, I was actually at a specific table, their table, asking them to leave. And then I ended up getting assistance by one of my other guys, Julian here.
Okay.
And that's when the altercation had happened. What basically happened was we ended up taking the drink out of one of the guy's hands.
You did?
And, yes.
Okay.
And as I did that, okay, he got struck from behind. And then as he got struck from behind, they all just converged on him. So that's probably where the blood came from, was his. Because they literally jumped on him to the point where I had to jump on him and cover him to
Did
protect.
you end up going to the hospital, sir?
I didn't. I refused to go to the hospital. I should have. I probably needed 2 butterfly stitches, but I didn't.
Seems like it was more blood than that on the floor, wasn't it, Sergeant Panagiotakis?
I would say so. 2 butterfly stitches is hardly a
I still have a
laceration.
mark from the rid of my forehead.
Head wounds bleed really.
Well, he had, to be honest with you, it was a good amount of blood because before he even when he was going, he was already almost out when he hit the floor pretty much unconscious.
Mr. Azadorian states that there's a chef or something like that kind of would call. It seems like there should be something better in place to alert police officers of something like that happening in the club.
I agree.
I mean, do you have something, like, as head of security, you see something's going on here, is a 911 call made right away, or 937?
Right, well, we know we have walkie-talkies, so a lot of
Yeah.
times we have a code red signal
Yeah.
that will alert, to call
Okay,
the
so what
police.
happened that night?
That night, we had police officers downstairs.
Yeah.
So when it happened, everything happened so quick.
Yep.
I mean, like I said, there were like 10 to 15 guys converging on my guy. So I had to protect my guy. We also had to protect the patrons inside the place.
Okay.
And it was unruly and out of hand at that time. So we had to act fast, act quick. The quickest way that we could get to them was to send somebody downstairs because we knew we had police presence downstairs. And at that time, I was involved.
The person that got in touch with Officer Spinney was a patron, not somebody from your staff.
I honestly don't know who that patron was, but what I do know is that the person that went downstairs was the chef, and he is a family member of mine.
Who did he get in contact with?
That I don't know. I know he went downstairs and spoke with an
Well,
officer.
the only ones that were there were Sergeant Panagiotakis and Officer Spinney.
Honestly, I can't speak to that because I don't know who he contacted.
Somebody alert you, Sergeant?
Not me, Officer Spinney. He was the first to be alerted, and he alerted the rest of us.
Officer Spinney, who told you that there was a fight going on? Was it the chef or?
I'm not sure, sir. I don't know the chef personally. I've never met the man. Like I said, it was several people that came up to me, and it appeared to me that there were people that were affected by the deployment of the OC spray, so I would say that they were patrons, sir.
As the head of security, do you know what happened with the OC spray? Did somebody from that table, obviously, or?
Honestly, I was actually on top of him, trying to cover him, trying to keep him safe because he was unconscious, and I was actually receiving blows from everywhere, so I couldn't,
How long was he unconscious for? Because Officer Spinney came up right after.
When they came up, I was already in the back hallway. Everybody was checking on me, making sure I was okay.
Okay. Am I missing anything here?
Well, there's a concern that I had that if we didn't have Officer Spinney out there
Yeah.
at that time, if he wasn't assigned to be there, or if he got pulled away from an officer needs an assistance call or anything else, that could have completely got way out of hand, and people would have got hurt and everything else. Deploying OC spray in a crowded room without police presence is an extremely dangerous situation.
Yeah, I'm just wondering who did it.
Wasn't the police. Because it was already deployed by the time me and Officer Spinney were the first ones up there, and we get hit full force with it. So it's already-
How long did it take your security personnel to go upstairs to help? Because it seems like Officer Spinney was up there before your security that was downstairs that you had sent down there beside you and the other guy. Didn't seem like they played a part in this.
Well, they actually, to be honest with you,
Yeah.
it was several different altercations going on at the time, so we.
There was other fights going on downstairs?
No, upstairs. So
Well, that's what I'm asking you. Why didn't your rest of the 6 other guys that were on duty come up to assist?
Right, that's what I was gonna say. They did come upstairs to assist.
Okay.
It's just that at that time,
Yeah.
we had several different altercations going on. It was a bad situation, I agree.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not denying that in any shape, form, or fashion. Okay, but as far as the or spray or whatever was dispersed, I can only say that I didn't see it because I was on the ground protecting my guy. Because if I wouldn't have jumped on the ground, he might not be here.
How long you been in security, sir?
I've been in security probably about 5 years, sir.
5 years.
Yes.
I owned a bar for 5 years, and at no time during a last call or if I knew somebody was inebriated, would I actually grab their drink. It's like alcohol 101. You don't do it.
Well, I didn't grab their drink as in rip the drink out of their hand.
Well, you took the drink from
But
the hand.
I did because it was, sir, to be honest with you, it was after 1:30. We
Right.
have strict guidelines to get people out in a timely fashion, and we try to adhere to that.
And you had, and actually, Mr. Azadorian said you had asked them numerous times to do that, right?
Exactly. I asked them,
It seems to me, after that numerous times, I'm dialing 937-3200 and saying, listen, we think something serious is gonna happen here, we need some assistance. And the last thing I'm doing, I'm not grabbing anybody's drink, I gotta tell you. And I've been in some situations as well, and I'm not a big guy, and believe me, I ain't gonna be pulling drinks from people's hands that are 6'2" and have had 6, 7, 8, 10 beers. You don't do it. You don't do it.
Understood, but I would like to add that was not the guy that started the melee. It was other people around him that started.
But that incited
I
the
agree.
next instance.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
So, 2 wrongs don't make a right.
I agree.
Commissioner Howe?
I just want to comment on the fact that we have a bar that their apparent procedure when there's an incident is to tell the chef to call the police. I consider this incident outrageous. You have 150 people on your banned list. I'd like to know how many other places in Lowell have a list where they ban people. I think you have no procedure as far as when incidents occur. So I think all of the violations, you definitely didn't maintain order and decorum. You didn't call the police. And the word disturbance or disorder is an understatement on what happened there. And I think if the police hadn't been there in full force, it would have been a complete disaster. So this is outrageous.
I completely agree. These guys came to cause problems that evening. I would like to say that there is a backdrop to this. This particular group of people actually showed up at our place again about 3 weeks ago. We're not allowed in, and they waited around the corner for security. And actually, there's a report, he put together a report. They actually were waiting for him outside to cause more problems. We obviously didn't let them in, we knew their faces, but they were literally waiting. So around 2:10 or so, when you're finished up with the night and leaving, they got him down the street. I mean, this was planned. There's no question about it. They came in to cause trouble. There's no
I have to
doubt about it.
concur with Commissioner Howe. In 2 years of business, having 150 people on your ban list, that's unbelievable. What does that say about your establishment? That's what would make me, I'd sit down and, if I own, which I've owned a liquor establishment, I'd sit down saying, what's going on? 150 people that you won't let in after 2 years of business. Make me sit and ponder. I'll tell you that. Any further comments?
I agree with both commissioners. I think your establishment is out of control. I think your security people, it sounds like they need some more training. I'm recommending a 5-day suspension.
Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Howe. Any discussion to the motions? Hearing no one. Roll call. Yes.
Commissioner Krieger?
Yes.
Commissioner McCarthy?
Yes.
Commissioner Howe? Yes. Commissioner Donahue?
Yes.
It's 5 yes.
If the board sees fit, the suspension will be concurrent with the 12-day suspension.
Yes.
Commissioner Krieger?
Making it concurrent makes it like it doesn't exist. I think that,
No, I meant, so right after the 12 days, then the other 5 would then start,
That's correct.
in tandem.
right after. Elliot, everything legal there?
Yeah, that'd be fine. I believe that's subsequent, though.
Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize.
Yeah, concurrent would mean that they would go parallel at the same time. If you mean that the 5 days would be after the 12 days, it'd be
I shouldn't
subsequent.
have went to Catholic school. Just,
It's affirmative after sentence.
you know what I mean?
Should've gone to Catholic school.
Yeah, I should have, yeah. Next complaint, please.
So it's subsequent.
Subsequent, thank you. My mother's gonna see this.
Commission will now proceed with the 4th complaint filed by the Superintendent of Police, William M. Taylor, allegation of misconduct against Mill City Ballroom, Inc., doing business as Mill City Ballroom, Joel Asadorian, manager, all alcoholic beverages restaurant licensee at 74 Merrimack Street, as set out in Superintendent Taylor's communication dated August 9th, 2016. And this is an incident that had occurred on May 1st, 2016.
State your name for the record, please.
Joel Asadorian?
Mr. Asadorian, would you like the complaint read into the record?
No.
No? You like to waive the reading? Your response to the complaint?
This was a Sunday event. It was a relatively small event. Not a lot of security was put on for that evening. There were only about 100 patrons in the entire place. It was more of a private event that we had gotten approval for that day. And we were having quite a bit of activity in the back stairwell. There were 7 bands that were booked for that day. There was quite a bit of, they started using the back stairwell. I was not present that evening at all. I do have I do have the security guards, these guys were there that evening as well. What actually happened was, from what I've been told, is patron entered. He was making gestures to the lead bartender. He was removed from the establishment, taken downstairs. Didn't leave with too much problem, a little bit of protest, still ended up leaving. We then, he was then seen so it was a very slow night. One of the bartenders got caught. It was Vinny, the guy that was involved. He was asked by security, stick around for a little while. It's almost over anyways. Help us out. And there's a bunch of activity going on in the back stairwell. Let's watch the back stairwell, make sure nothing bad happens over there. He ended up seeing this kid that was causing trouble earlier in the evening back down there. The kid started trouble with him. He grabbed him, subdued him. They fell to the floor. The kid ended up leaving. The kid ended up coming back again, a third time that evening, to the front door this time. The back door was secured. Everyone had just about left already at that point. And he ended up coming back a third time saying that he wanted to kick his butt and he wasn't allowed in, and Vinny had already left. I think this is definitely a case of an unruly patron was removed. He definitely got in through the back door, no question about that, and was removed again and then came back. Subsequently, from him, from Vinny getting headbutted, he ended up grabbing him, went to the floor, and he sustained some injuries at that time. I think what he's trying to do is sue the bar because he got hurt when he was getting brought out.
Is Mr. Sawyer or Mr. Arahita here? Why don't you give us your account of what happened?
Before that, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Arahita, I wish to advise you that under the United States Constitution, you have a Fifth Amendment right to not incriminate yourself. It is my understanding that there is a pending criminal matter involving you, sir, as a defendant. Again, I wish to advise you that you have the right to invoke the Fifth Amendment should you feel that any of your testimony can self-incriminate yourself.
Okay. Understood?
Understood, thank you.
Okay.
Plain and simple, kids are drunk, always causing problems, comes in, I knew it, I was like, you know what, I'm not dealing with this today. I told security to walk him out. He was walked out. Thought that was the end of it. End of my shift, they're like, can you help on the back stairway? Because again, there's multiple bands going up and down the steps with equipment, all this stuff going on. So I'm in the back stairway, making the rounds, come down, he's coming up. I'm like, are you serious, guy? You gotta go, you're not supposed to be here. There's like downstairs going into the basement. There's our liquor stores, there's anything. He could have been doing anything back there. I don't know. Tell him to leave, he says, I'm not leaving, headbutts me. I wrap him up. We're both vets, I don't know his capability. So I grabbed him up, made sure he couldn't move. I said, look, I'm gonna let you up. Please do the right thing, walk out the back door. Don't give me any trouble. He walks out the back door, and that was the last I saw him that night. I wrapped up my stuff, gave my report to Joel, and I went home. And then I guess apparently he came back again, causing an altercation, trying to look for me again. So, the kid basically was just looking for problems. That's all I have to say.
Did you sustain any injuries from that?
I got headbutted. I sent the picture to Joel.
I don't have the picture with me, but I do have it on my phone.
This is the other picture of the gentleman that supposedly you...
I can't.
Sure, you may approach. Is that Mr. Sawyer?
Yes.
Is that the injuries, were those from you?
Again, I don't know. We hit the ground. It was very quick. He goes up. Now, if there's someone or anything involved, or his drunk butt trips in the hallway outside or whatever, that's up to them. Again, I got 10 years security. I know how to restrain people. He headbutted me. I just went with enough force to take him down.
Do you have that picture, Mr.
I did not strike him. I just basically put him in a lock. When we go down, we went down full force, and he went first. So,
Face first?
yeah, because when I grabbed him, like I looped him around, we hit the ground, I make sure he's subdued, make sure he's not trying to get up anymore after he'd already assaulted me, and I was like, look, I'm gonna let you up, just leave, dude.
What
That's all
time
I
was
want you
that?
to do.
What time was that?
Let's see. I want to say around 7 or 8, something around that. Not
Just
100%
before
sure.
security got to their doors?
I do know that there was, within 10 to 15 minutes of that situation, there was a 911 call placed to an ambulance for someone in the back hallway who had gotten hurt, and we were attending to them. So that correlates that same time. So it's around that time.
So you already had an ambulance coming?
No, it was basically I kicked him out. I come upstairs, and now I see a guy with his feet like he fell down the stairs or something. Like he looked like he had a neck injury. I advised staff not to touch him. I'm trained in first response. I told them not to touch him, call 911, and that's when the ambulances came, probably within 5-10 minutes after that.
What time does security start at the front door?
You know what? That event, I don't know what time we started.
Yeah, I'm not.
We started early, it was like 2, 3 o'clock.
What time did security get on that night, Mr. Evans doing? So there was security out front, right? How did he get in? How did Mr. Sawyer get in the front door then again?
If I may, Mr. Chairman, just for the record, what was being shown to the License Commission?
There was a photo of Mr. Arahita with his cheek. It looked maybe a little bit bruised, but not significantly.
Has this picture been provided to the police department?
Can you show counsel for me?
I made the police department aware of it. That's going to be evidence in court also. Now, I must say that the kid was wearing a front brim hat. So when you go down face first, that hat's going to cause an abrasion. And we did hit a couple shelves on the way back because it was the back liquor store area.
Okay, let me get back to my question. How did Mr. Sawyer get back into the place the second time and a third time if this?
No, he never got back. The second time was he was on the back stairwell. He got in with the bands. With the bands.
So he
were
came in from the back both
the
times?
back door, yes.
No. The first time he came in right through the
Oh,
front.
I know the first time. The second time he came in?
Second time he came in through the back, he made it through with the bands. And then the third time, he was not allowed back in.
Yeah.
He was at the front door a third time, screaming outside, he's gonna kick his butt, basically.
Did we try to get Mr. Sawyer here? Mr. Veloso, did we
I
try?
believe a subpoena was issued for Mr. Sawyer to testify in this matter.
And no show?
It appears that Mr. Sawyer has not complied with the subpoena.
Well, I'd like to hear from Mr. Sawyer.
As would I, sir.
Also, after that event, he put a restraining order out on me, so I can't be in the same room with him. So just to let you guys know that.
Sorry, Mr. McCarthy will break that up.
Okay.
Don't worry about that. Commissioner Krieger?
We do, my apologies, Mr. Chairman. We do have, though, an officer who did investigate this matter. He is present, who can testify.
I'm just disappointed that Mr. Sawyer's not here so we could get a rebuttal of what happened here.
Yeah.
One-sided, and
And we also have the security guard that took him out the first time, and we have the security guard that didn't let him in the third time.
So the letter from the superintendent is dated 9 August, and the event was 1 May. So there's 2 months in there while everyone's thinking about this. Is there,
May 2nd to August.
oh, I'm sorry, 3 months. So what happened in those 3 months? I would have thought that we would have rolled this over fairly quickly.
I don't know specifically. It may honestly have simply been an oversight, that it may have been sitting in a file waiting to be processed and sent over.
Right. Now, there was a mention of criminal proceedings.
Yes.
Do we know where those are?
I believe the officer can provide some insight on that.
Okay. That'd be good. Yes, sir. Name and,
Felix Gonzalez. You want to just know, just to go right through the incident? I was dispatched to a past assault. It was called in by the victim's mother. Once I got to the scene, she provided me with, I believe, the pictures that you have on you. As you can see, this was not a takedown. This guy got assaulted pretty good. So once I received that information, the mother received that information from a text message from the son's friend. And the son's friends also sent the pictures that you have. So once I finished speaking with the mother, I went to St. Memorial where the victim was. And he explained to me that he attended a rock concert at the Mill City Ballroom. He said he tried to order a drink from the bartender, he's present here today. He's an acquaintance of Derek Sawyer, and I guess there's issues between the girlfriend who's pregnant with his child. They took him to, they asked him to speak with them in the back stairwell, and once in the back stairwell, that's where he was assaulted by Mr. Arahita, supposedly, and where he sustained his injuries. He was forced to leave the back door where the back entrance where the alley is. He returned he stayed with his sister to retrieve his hat, sweater, and a CD that was left on scene. He informed the security guard. His exact quote was, "I just got my ass kicked by one of your employees." And he stated that the employee pretty much brushed it off. He did receive his items, but I think there was one item left. I don't know if it was his hat or his sweater, but one item was not given to him. And that's when he left, and I believe he went to the emergency room.
What injuries were sustained?
What I seen, I didn't see I didn't speak with a doctor in the ER, but what I saw was his both eyes were very swollen, they're bruised, and he also had a big sized lump on the right side of his forehead. This was clear as day. If you saw this guy, you knew he got beat up pretty good. So,
Did you ask Mr. Sawyer, did you get to speak with Mr. Sawyer at all?
Yes, I did.
So, from when he left Mill City Ballroom to, how much time elapsed before he got to the hospital?
He said the incident occurred around 10:30, approximately 10:30. So, yes, 10:30. That's when he said he was at the Mill City Ballroom. So, but the time lapse between, he's not the one that called, his mother did. His mother received the text messages at 10:39.
Mr. Arahita, you said that happened around 7 o'clock, 7:30?
I can't be exact on the times. Like I said, there's people going up and down the stairs. I didn't have a watch on me.
You gotta be able to tell between 7 or 10 o'clock.
I don't carry a watch. I don't know what's going on. Like, he left. Again, I weigh 225 pounds. This kid's not a little kid. He's taller than me.
Was it dark out?
Huh?
Was it dark out?
It was dark out. I can say
7
that.
o'clock in May, it wouldn't have been.
Yeah, I wouldn't, again, I can't recall. It was a crazy day. This was our third day of working doubles. We had worked a double the day before. Everybody on the whole staff was exhausted and just done, toast.
Just trying to gain a time.
Correlate that with you too also.
All right, so Mr. Sawyer's timeline seems to be intact here right now.
Yes.
Could you finish up by telling us whether or not there are criminal proceedings and where they are?
There was charges taken out, and also I have not received any notices for any, I have not attended any hearings yet. So I don't know where they stand at this point.
So there are criminal charges hanging over somebody's head?
That's correct, yes.
Mr. Velosa, do we know anything about these criminal charges?
Again, the officer is here who can testify as to the current status of the case.
Would you identify that officer? Yeah,
the
so
officers.
he just testified.
Do you want to know the charges? Is that what you're asking?
The what?
Do you want to know the charges that were filed? Is that what you're asking?
No, I want to know when it's going to go to court.
It's gone to court. A summons was, a complaint application was submitted by the officer against Mr. Irahita. Perhaps Mr. Irahita can give us his next court date, but this matter went to court. The officer just hasn't been notified to appear to testify yet, is what he's indicating.
Yes, that's correct.
Mr. Irahita?
I believe towards the end of the month, we're going to go to trial.
Okay. Commissioner Donahue?
Officer, the victim,
Yes, sir.
was he sober when you spoke to him, or had he been?
No, he definitely had been drinking, but he was definitely not to a point where he couldn't comprehend what was going on.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Howell?
Did anyone at the Mill City Ballroom call the police?
I
after this?
was not notified by Mill Bar. I was notified by the victim's mother.
And then I'll ask people from the Mill City, was this a situation where you told the chef, or did anyone call the police?
No, no one called the police during this time. It was, from what I understand, literally a brief moment in time. We tell people they can't come back all the time. You know, I would state that, you know, I have my door, the guy that was working the door there, he came back threatening about wanting to continue additional altercation and wasn't allowed in the place.
Okay, you were at the door? What time did he come back?
It was dark, so
Rough guess, ballpark, 9, 10?
I would say.
Yeah. What time was that picture sent from his mother?
She received it at 10:39.
So unless it happened at the Mill City Ballroom, he had an hour to get beat up somewhere else. That sound about right? All right.
Mr. Assatorian, did you file a report with Mr. Nguyen?
Yes, I did.
I don't recall that.
You received one, right? But you weren't sure
We
what you...
received one, I don't recall.
Actually, he received a bundled report that day. Actually, one of the band members had fallen in the back stairwell just a little bit prior to this, and we had actually called an ambulance to come. They had just wrapped up because he had actually fallen and sustained serious injuries from hitting the stairs, and nobody was involved in that particular, in that. But another van member was told. We ended up calling the police. I filed that. In addition, I said there were 2 things of note this weekend. We did call an ambulance for them, and I reported this incident as well.
Okay. Elliot, I know you brought up HIPAA rules, but how would that affect, if we're looking for a time on when somebody was admitted, how does that involve the HIPAA rules? Because that would give us a timeline of exactly when he was admitted, which, from previous testimony, if he got there at 10, what was the time, Officer Gonzalez?
He's saying that he was there at approximately 10:30.
All right, which means he probably sat and waited for a few minutes.
Oh, no, with the ER, we don't know. I
What-
don't have a time. He was there at the Mill City Ballroom at 10:30. The exact time of when he was admitted, I have no idea. He did, I believe he was also on foot. So this was a good time. There's a good different time lapse here with when he was there and actually when he actually got admitted, I believe, because I believe.
Why can't we know that? Why can't we find out what time he got admitted?
I would note that intake times are usually recorded on medical reports, and generally speaking, HIPAA implicates all medical information relating to a patient, which I would contend would include emergency room admittance times and things like that. Now, granted, if there's a legal case involving medical records, you can certainly, if it's an issue in a case.
If we get a
you can
timeline and bring Mr. Sawyer back here in 2 weeks, I think I'd feel a lot better in making a better judgment on this case, if I could have that timeline, because if in fact this happened, I mean, we're only talking probably an hour here, so the chances of him getting beat up between leaving the ballroom and somewhere else and within an hour, highly unlikely.
In this particular case, I would be begging the board to say, this is one person's word against another person's word. This person did come back and want to start more trouble. This individual was there
Oh, I get it.
to start trouble.
Well,
Well,
I get it, but it still doesn't mean he's gonna get beat up.
No, I completely agree, I completely agree. but-
Commissioner Howe?
Even if we take Mr. Irahita's testimony as 100% true, that is a disturbance. And the law states that you cannot permit a disturbance on your property. So there's a violation of 204. We don't need Mr. Sawyer to come in for that. There's also a violation of 1.16 because you failed to maintain order and decorum. And also, no one called the police. So those three are violated. I don't know about the assault and battery charge.
I would note, though, excuse me, I would agree with Commissioner Howe. I would also note, though, by Mr. Irahita's own testimony, if we were to accept that at face value, he indicated he was headbutted. And if we were to accept that, that was an altercation which took place on the premises. And yet there is no police call, there is no report that was submitted, and there was no compliance with any of the rules and regulations and related to that assault.
Good point. Mr. Asadorian, any final comments before the board renders a decision?
I would just say that anyone can cause a problem in a moment. It's how, and all we can do is stop it immediately or sooner when it happens. Also, I wasn't there for this evening. The night was wrapping up, and I think that I definitely did file the report once I was informed as to what happened. So I tried to do what I could to inform the board as to what's happening.
Mr. Irahita, how do you respond to Commissioner Howe's statement that there was a disturbance?
I bounced for 10 years. Things happen. You come home with scratches, blood in your shirt, stuff happens. And honestly, I took him down, he left on his own accord, and that was it. I didn't feel the need to sign a report like that because, again, I've bounced for years, and again, there's people who don't want to leave. And, I'm going to kill you, this, and that. You get them out the door, it's done, they're a man, they walk away. This one called mommy. That's
the reason, that's why you get other people involved, so something like this doesn't happen.
Absolutely. I made him right aware right after it happened and went up to him, told him what happened. We sat down, we worked it all out. I don't know if there was a call made or anything after that, but we figured since he tacked it onto the report, that was it.
Officer Gonzalez?
I just would like to add one thing. The story that I received from the victim, Mr. Sawyer, if these two individuals have issues regarding an ex-girlfriend or whatever, why is Mr. Irahita handling this Mr. Sawyer and not security? That's the issue that I have, and it's more of that issue that was not reported. And if it was reported, police should have been called immediately when they had these issues prior to any interaction that they both had.
Okay. Mr. Asadorian?
I agree, and that's why originally it was taken directly out. There was no, that's, the initial response was, this gentleman is making faces at me, giving me the finger, doing things along those lines, and I'm behind the bar, take him out. And came back for more problems, whether either to come back for more problems or to get stuff that he says he left behind. But I can tell you for sure, the third time.
But don't you call the police at that time?
At that point in time, it's someone being just,
Right, the first time, I can understand it, but then the second time, this is the reason why you're here. Your own employee took a situation in his own hands and left you out in a lurch.
Yep.
Can I just say one thing?
Sure you
If
can.
I'm on an island by myself,
Yeah?
there's no time to say, oh, stop being a crazy person. Let me go get my manager and get 5 witnesses and call the police. We work security. We work hard. We're blue-collar guys. We all come to do our job. That's all we want to do. We want to comply with everything you guys want us to do, and we're trying to do it. This
But after
ban
the-
list, that 150 people, that
I
goes
get
back
it,
That
but-
goes back to Brian Ivy's.
It does
with
go
the
back-
stigma
it does
of
go
those
back to
jerks, and
Brian
we're trying to kick out the old crowd that was going in there.
But what I'm saying is, if a guy keeps on coming back and coming back,
Right.
what do you think is gonna happen? It brings you right here to the Lowell License Commission.
Absolutely
you
understand.
know?
Again, I was caught on an island. In any other situation, if I would have had, proper security next to me at that point, but because we were thin and they were handling something else, I had to do what I had to do at that situation because there was no other option.
Thank you. Wish of the board.
I'd like to kick this down the road to the next meeting. I'd like to see Mr. Sawyer here. I'd like to know what happened at the trial.
We don't know if the next meeting, the trial will already be,
I understand that, but I'd like to see Mr. Sawyer also.
so you're making a motion to reschedule this meeting to October 6th?
Yes.
Is there a second on the floor?
I'm not doing good with seconds today, am I?
Tonight, I guess. Hearing no second amended motion from anybody? Motion is seconded by Commissioner Donahue. Any further discussion on the motion? Roll call.
And may I ask, this is regarding Commissioner Krieger's motion?
Correct.
To continue the matter to the
Continue the matter to October 6th.
meeting?
Yep.
With the intent to have Mr. Sawyer present?
Yes.
Chairman Dakota?
Yes.
Commissioner Krieger?
Yes.
Commissioner McCarthy?
Yes.
Commissioner Howe? No. Commissioner Donahue? Yes. 4 yeas, 1 no.
Thank you very much for attending tonight. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So August,
By
October
Commissioner
6th.
Krieger, seconded by Commissioner Howe. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Everyone have a good evening.
deputy?
That was
You gotta
interesting.
throw him
So
right in the
it's
pool.
like, oh, yeah, I texted Deputy Webb, I'm like, boy, do you owe me, I'm still here. Thank you.
You were good, you were good.
Hi, Martha.
Thank you.
Hi.
Nice, Debbie Frieden, nice to officially be.
Yeah,
Wow,
so
you guys do this for fun?
I need to look into it, I just don't want to. I don't want us to get.
Steve Alexander.
Hey, Steve, how are you?
Good. Croto too, no X though.
Oh, yeah? There you go.
I know, this is way past my bedtime.
This is the longest meeting we'll
Yeah, of course, it is. There'll be like an hour the next time, right?
John, 30 minutes. 30 minutes.
He owes me, he owes me lunch.
Yes.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I know Deputy Webb, I'm sure he had it, or I'm sure it's probably, you know what, we'll get busy and I don't want to. No, I'm just curious. Sometimes when you sit down, well, you probably, my guess is he's got a bin on his desk and he puts them there and then he sits down and he just pushes them all out at once, I guess, I don't know. I can't say for sure, I don't know.
City council can do it anyhow.
More than likely it was an oversight.
They've got
Because it does
plenty
happen.
of power, so they can do it.
I've done it.
So
This is a big one. If,
we got into an issue where
if it turns out that
slap our
bartender was patron and all that,
Yeah.
that's a big deal.
I mean, one minute he's bartender, the next minute he's security, and then we're overworked and we're understaffed, all of that came out, like, he was saying all of that. He said we're working double shifts.
He's a policeman.
Yeah, well, I said, that's what I was saying to Elliot.
I'm gonna talk to one of my colleagues, Ken Rossetti.
Because he keeps saying he was security.
We're,
Anyway, but if I get headbutted by somebody and I gotta physically restrain him, I'm calling the police. And then that guy tries to come back in, 2 times. If you reissue it. It was interesting story.
we could do it. We also have our own constable, so we could have the constable serving the animals.
Why don't you just let us do it? Yes.
We might, yeah.
I got lucky, they were, I couldn't believe all the girls and everybody, I'm like, they're all here?
I know.
Wow.
Yeah, we actually,
So,
we like that.
yeah, that'll give them a chance to talk to this guy and make sure that
That might be,
he's coming.
that might be the way to go. I'll talk to Ken, and see how we want to proceed going forward, because, I mean, one thing too is we don't want it to stand. I mean, if we issue a subpoena, you answer, and if we don't take action on this, other people might be watching this. Yeah, it says, oh, well, I can avoid it and not have consequences.
Yeah, so we've already tried the constable,
Yeah.
whatever, we don't know what happened, but let us try this one.
Okay.
See.
Okay. I'll reach out to Ken, we'll see what the implications are.
I'm like,
Well,